Hi, everybody. It's Denise with Divine Soul Astrology. Today we're talking about the new moon in Libra, which is on October 21st at 5:25 a.m. here on the West Coast in California. But check for your own time because in some places it will actually be the day before. Um, yeah, it will be or maybe the day after. I'm not, yeah, I can't, it's hard to keep up with the times around the world, right? But yeah, check on that. And the sun and the moon in Libra, we're being asked right now to see this new beginning, to see this as a new beginning, or to see it as a time of planting seeds. Whenever the sun is in a particular sign, and the moon really too, but this is about where the focus and the motivation is, right? We also have Mars, and that is in wherever that is also the focus, right? So Mars is in Scorpio and conjunct Mercury. I'll talk a little bit about that, but Mars is also where things are motivated, right? So, Scorpio is also about relationships. It's a little different. It's a money sign over, rather than Libra. Libra is about relating to others. It is about relationships, of course. It's about open enemies or opponents. They don't necessarily have to be enemies, but especially on a personal level. But they are about being open, but also like open opponents. And why do I say this? Because Libra is always trying to balance, right? So you're going to have on one side, sometimes, right, as an archetype, you're going to have somebody who really wants balance and fairness and harmony, and the other one will be the opponent, right? So we can always, that type of energy can happen as well. And Libra is also about court cases. It's about, yeah, legal cases and whoops, let's get right into it. And Venus is the ruler of the new moon. So Venus is about, interesting for Libra, it's about beauty and relationships. And for Taurus, because Venus rules both, Taurus is about money. It's a money sign. It's about your self-esteem as well and your values, your financial stability. Sorry about this table is kind of shaking, but financial stability, excuse me, and our own well-being. It can be spiritual well-being too. It's interesting, but that is the difference really between Libra and Taurus, right? Taurus is an earth sign. They are concerned with money and stability, and Libra is an air sign, and they are concerned more with like relationships or relating to other people and always trying to balance the scales, right? Um, yeah. And so, and this sun here in Libra, this is how it relates to the sense of ourselves. So, that's very important. The sun is a sense of yourselves, and it is sitting right there, conjunct, almost at a perfect conjunction. The sun's at 28 degrees and the moon is at 29. And the moon is asking us at 29 degrees to just trust our feelings, but to do our best with the sun there to see things clearly and to focus on what is important. The moon at 29 degrees, it's a very powerful degree. There's always an urgency with that 29th anaretic degree. So there's something that has to be done. And, this can definitely be trust your feelings because the sun can be giving the clarity, right? Showing the clarity for whatever you are, kind of whatever you are focusing on, or whatever you feel like is important, or whatever you feel like you should be trusting, right? And so we have Chiron in Aries, and we're going to talk about all the horoscopes. And here is Chiron here, if you guys can see this. And here it is, the little K, it looks like a key, sort of. But this is about reflection. Excuse me, guys. It's about reflection and it is about healing. Chiron in our chart shows us where we're vulnerable and we're sensitive, possibly where we have, illness, but often it is psychological, right? And here it is in Aries. So whenever we have Chiron in Aries, if that is in your chart, that is about some type of uh, personal sensitivity. It doesn't have to be, it can be a perceived kind of sensitivity or vulnerability or illness and things like that. It can simply be perceived. And with Chiron there in Aries, sometimes this is a self-restriction. Yeah. And so, yeah, and it is opposing the sun and the moon. This is creating some type of inner tension when we have an opposition. So here is the opposition. Here's Chiron, and now we see the opposition right here with to the sun and the moon. And let's go ahead and put this back. Chiron is there. Um, and it is opposing, so this is always the axis that we have when we have an opposition. So for Libra, the opposing sign will always be Aries. So there's something going on here between our relationships and our feelings or how we show up in them, as opposed to the self, or, right? Aries is the self and Libra is the other, or the partner, right? Or the relationship in general. So there's something going on here when we have the new moon and the new moon and the sun here opposing Chiron. In fact, the sun, I feel like, is asking you definitely, I kind of mentioned this, but to look at your feelings and to trust them. This can talk about trust your dreams. Sometimes the moon is about dreams, right? We know that the new moon is always about planting seeds for the future. It can be the beginning of something. Sometimes it is an idea, but it is the beginning of something. So something here has to be something needs to be healed with Chiron in Aries here. And that will, for everybody, that will depend on the house, and I will talk about those, right, in when we get to the horoscopes. Hmm. Yeah, and Chiron and Aries opposing the sun and the moon, it's asking us to heal something, some type of old wound, possibly, or some type of vulnerability, sensitivity, physical or, or emotional or mental. Sometimes we have a perceived one, as I mentioned. So sometimes they're not even real, right? We're just thinking, we might be thinking that we're flawed in some way or we have some kind of issue, but sometimes these are perceived, right? Sometimes it is about maybe a shortcoming with us, right? But astrology is here to help us understand those shortcomings and overcome them, right? Heal them. And that's what Chiron is about, our reflection. It is about going deep within to reflect on the matter, to heal the matter, to overcome it. And so, yeah, Chiron is asking us to go within to heal whatever can be hindering us, whatever's holding us back. So now we have the sun and the moon, and this is trining the MC. And here's the sun again. And the trines are very favorable. The trines are setting things up to happen quickly. They're creating an ease and a flow. They're typically in the same element. So where is this trine at? Here we have the sun moon trining the MC. The MC is here, and the sun and the moon are here. But interesting, the MC is not even in, let's look at this here. Yeah, it's not in an air sign, but it is close. It is, close to Gemini. So they're not always in the same element. But here we have the sun and the moon trining the MC. And this is the ability to, this is like giving you guys, somebody out there, definitely, that is the astrological energy, the ability to balance your private life and your career. Your MC is your career. It can be how others classify you out in the world and how they see you or how they would maybe describe you. But it is also your social status or your social standing. So that has to do with, a marriage or, changing your life in some divorce, getting a PhD, anything, even moving far away. It can be changing your social status, right? Having a child will change your social status. Retirement is another one, right? Yeah, and this sun here, the sun is our core identity. So this is asking us to balance our private life and our career, our emotional self, because the moon is there too. And here is the moon as part of this trine here. It's asking us, and it's kind of giving us the green light there. The trine makes things very favorable for things to happen, right? And now we have the moon, and that is squaring Pluto. Here's the moon right here. Here is Pluto down here. So there can be a conflict between our emotional needs. Our moon is our emotion, our emotions, right? It sometimes is our body and how, our emotions are really our body reacting to our thoughts, right? So, when we have the moon here squaring Pluto, there's something emotional going on here. This is major tension when we have a square. It often creates action, like compels us to take action. So there we have it, squaring Pluto. And there can be power struggles as well, right, going on. There might be here. Um, Especially, and the sun is also trining Pluto, I believe. So yeah, and so that is also, this is like your core identity, and the sense of yourself. Sometimes your values here that are like conflicting. That's what a square is, with Pluto in Aquarius. So Pluto in Aquarius is going to mean different things for different signs, but Pluto is about power. With the square there, there's some type of struggle or inner tension, that could have to do with, groups of people here, possibly in Aquarius. It is about change and innovation, and that's what Pluto is about. Pluto is about transformation. So there could be some type of something that really needs to be changed and overcome with Pluto there. And so when we get to the horoscopes, we're going to go house by house, so you will know, so you'll understand how this can, affect all of you, right? And now we have, yeah, and there is a desire for control here with this moon, uh, excuse me. Um, yeah, here's the Sun square Pluto as well. So there is excuse me, guys. There's a power struggle going on, but the energy is trying to gain control about something that is emotional, or that has to do with our emotional stability, because that's what the moon represents. All right, so now we have Venus. Venus is at home in Libra. Let's go ahead and refresh that. And here is Venus, right? Loves to be in Libra, loves to be in Taurus. And right now, in Libra season, this is perfect here. Um, And so Venus is in a really good place. It's happy to be there. It is conjuncting the AC. So the AC here, this is about the AC is ourselves. It is the self, really. It can be how you see yourself, how you drive yourself, and how you move through the world. This is really another word for the rising sign, really how you are kind of rising through life and how you are ascending and evolving, right? And growing. And so here is Venus here conjunct that. This is self-care. Somebody is taking, this is about taking good care. Um, it is about a value for a relationship. It is about love, um, and desire. It definitely is. And it is most likely about money as well. Um, because as I said, Venus also represents Taurus, the second house of money and self-esteem. So this is supporting self-care, um, and a presentation to others in a very peaceful and loving way. Yeah, when Venus shows up, because Venus is about fairness, especially in Libra here. So we have people who are this energy where people are treating each other, hopefully, which are, being very pleasant and peaceful. All right, so now we have Venus, and it is opposing the DC. So remember, the oppositions they create change. They're a challenge, and this is an opposition here that happens to be Jupiter with Pluto. But let's look at the opposition between Venus and opposing. Where is Venus here? Opposing the DC. So the DC is it is the seventh house of relationships. That's what the DC represents. It is another way of like another version, possibly. It's the same thing, really, the DC. It has to do with our relationships. It just happens to be right here in the seventh house. We start with Libra here, but So this here, the DC is all about the couple. It's about the relating, our relationships. Here it is in Aries, the self. So with the opposition to Venus here, there is something going on. Yeah, this can be you could be maybe attracted to somebody, but at the same time, you are kind of challenged by them. And it can be somebody in Aries, it can be somebody who is very, maybe, independent and these kind of assertive types. There's a need to bring balance to that type of energy. And so let's talk about Aries now. And we're going to talk about the other aspects as well. And we start with Aries, it's the first sign, right? And when we do the horoscopes, we are moving house to house here. So here's Aries over here. I'm not going to bother to put it on the ascendant because it just messes up the time and just everything like that. So here we have Aries. There you are. And the new moon is in your house of relationships. So remember, Libra is the opposite sign. This is the seventh house. The opposite sign is always the seventh from the kind of the original sign here. So this is the seventh house for you, Aries. You the only person who the only sign who has the natural chart, because you start here and you right at the first sign and you move around very naturally here, where Taurus would be the sixth house here. This is your seventh house. So we're moving forward to when we get to Libra, and when the new moon is in your seventh house of relationships. So this is really for you. The whole intro was for you, but this energy right here is all about you in a relationship, or how you are relating, or how you show up in them. All right. With the moon here, something might end for you in a relationship. It could be a way of just relating itself. Um, yeah. And so, yeah, let's look at that here. The new moon is in your seventh house, opposing Libra, of course, the sun and the moon there, opposing, I'm sorry, Aries. Yeah. And so opposing the DC right here. So, yeah. And so this brings somewhat of a challenge. That's what I was saying. So, there could be a little bit of repeating here for you, Aries, in case, and I'm not sure if you have watched the intro, right? But Chiron is at 24 degrees, and this is associated with Pisces, this number. So when we have something associated with Pisces, Chiron can be about illness and vulnerability, and Pisces can be as well. Yeah. And so it can, all the signs have kind of a higher personality or higher qualities, and all the signs have a lower qualities or shortcomings, and that's life, right? And that's what we're trying to do here. We are trying to, astrology is about is your ascension and your evolving, your evolution. And that has to do with the north nodes right here. Here's the south and here's the north. That has to do with fate and destiny and becoming our true self. Yeah. And learning from past lives, or learning in this life as well, over here with the south node. And so, but getting back to this, and so Venus, I was talking about Venus opposing the DC. And so earlier, right, in the intro, but Venus opposing the DC is showing us that by exuding inner harmony and self-care, like taking really good care of ourselves and showing self-love, we can better assert our own needs in relationships. And that's totally true. Or out in the world in general, of relating, right? And your natal Mars, Aries, is trining. Here's your natal Mars, and it is trining Jupiter right here. And remember, the trines create usually favorable, but the trine will set things up to move along, right? Life has changed. So a trine it can be something can end too, not just, like if somebody is very sick and they are suffering, the trine can bring, a welcome death. It can. But here, we're not talking about death here. No, we're not. Uh, but we have Mars trining Jupiter in Cancer. Yeah, Mars is in Scorpio. So this is allowing a flow, this trine, and an ease to combine passion with intensity and strategic action, leading, and this can lead to uh, emotional expansion and personal growth. Yeah, and that trine there. That is definitely very supportive. Um, it definitely can. So now uh we have Mars in Scorpio. This is powerful. Aries, this is your ruler. This is your ruling sign, Mars, right here. And it's powerful, it's action oriented. And yeah, it is. And so this is intense, and this can be about your very driven areas, possibly in relationships, but it can be regarding finances as well. It can. Um, yeah, and this is the power to transform, and that's a really good thing here. Yeah, that is. Um, mhm. So now we have Mars here, and Mars is right here, as I was saying, but Mars is trining Saturn. Here is Saturn here, and Saturn is in your 12th house, Aries. So Saturn is about our achievement and our authority, but it can be about immaturity and discipline. It's about long-term goals as well, career, but it can be about restrictions. So it depends. If we don't want to step up and kind of be mature and start to plan our lives, or, or kind of add some structure and form to our lives, then Saturn can come in as a restriction. So remember, this is a trine, and this is personal power. It definitely is. It is personal power with Mars trining there. And so this can help make your dreams come true. Saturn is bringing, and because Saturn is in Pisces, so this is giving structure and form to your dreams, and a realistic vibe as well. Yeah. And so, but this can also bring structure, but bring karmic lessons sometimes, allowing you to move toward your higher self, because we have the North Node here as well. And so, yeah, that's so now we have Mercury, and this is trining Saturn. Mercury is over here. Mercury is the planet of information. It's how the way we think, how we process ideas, and it's about our plans and our goals, our decisions, our conversations. It's also about anything analyzing. It's also about uh, things that are familiar to us. And so Mercury is there, and yeah, you're able to see beyond the veil. And why do I say this? Because Mercury is in Scorpio. Mercury in Scorpio can be psychic energy, but it is definitely seeing or understanding what is hidden, or what could be shown now, possibly by lifting the veil. But it can, it can expose lies as well, right? When we see Mercury in Scorpio. On the upside, this is about definitely going deep and understanding. This can be about studying as well, studying the occult, studying astrology, as I said, psychic ability, intuitive ability. This is the energy of a detective. Yeah, the Mercury is the thinker here, and Scorpio is the what is hidden there, and the psychic. Yeah. Um, so, the Aries, I feel like you are kind of lifting the veil on something and understanding something in a very deep way. Your analytical side combined with your intuition is supporting your life path, your higher purpose, because we have the trine over here, as I mentioned, to Saturn and the North Node. The North Node is where you are striving to go. This is evolution. This is becoming your best self, your higher potential, following your life path and following your life's work, things like that, following what your soul really wants for you. That is the North Node. And so, yeah, and now let's talk about Taurus. And so, Taurus, the new moon is ruled by Venus. Yeah, we talked about that. That is your ruling planet. And so, let's move this up a little bit. And so, we have, yeah, and this is very important. Venus is in Libra right now, and this is going on in your sixth house. So, let's refresh this. Your sixth house is for you is ruled by Venus, and mhm. And your first house, this is you, right, is ruled by Venus, Taurus. So when we talk about the sixth house, though, Venus, your natal ruler in the sixth house, This can definitely be it can be you are doing some type of work that is very creative, because the sixth house is work, it is also health, it's about our pets, and it's about our daily life. So with Venus showing up in your sixth house, Taurus, maybe you're focusing on your daily life, your daily routine, your schedule, things like that. And you could be, this can also be with Venus in your sixth house, you could be making more money. You are the money sign. Venus for you does represent money, but it's in Libra now. So, maybe this could be, you're in a relationship where you are both building, possibly financially, but, you're both working together. It can be. And as regard to health, Venus is very good here because in your house of health, Taurus, because um, Venus is about self-care. It's about self-care and values and how we value ourselves as well. So there's either a relationship, maybe you can meet somebody at this time as well. You might be able to meet somebody if you're not with somebody, that maybe that you work with, right? Or even at the doctor's office, possibly, right? Or, in some type of wellness. I'd rather use like in a yoga class or something like that, right? Like in some other type of wellness. You could meet somebody like that, or you could be working, you could be making money here, in the healthcare field. You could be making money with beauty products. You may, um, because Libra is associated with beauty. Yeah, and so yeah, that's a really great place for that to be. And so now we have the moon opposing Chiron in your 12th house. So here is Chiron, Taurus, in your last house, which is your 12th house. And this is the house of endings and loss. This is also intuition, and the psychic ability, right? The 12th house is about the visionary or the mystic, but it is about loss, and the house of self-undoing. So the 12th house, as it kind of conveys, it is the last sign. It does represent endings. It does. I mean, it can, right? Um, and so I feel like this moon opposing Chiron in your 12th house, Taurus. Here is Chiron, and the moon is opposing it. This can be about health issues as well. The 12th house is about illness, hospitals, and clinics and things like that. There's something that you might need to, that you need to, there can be something that you need to heal there because of this opposition. And it may be, it could be maybe physical or psychological. The 12th house is usually psychological. Um, but that would depend on, the rest of your chart. I can't see your guys' personal chart here, no, um, because it makes a huge difference, your chart, right? And so this could be asking you, though, the moon opposing Chiron, the moon are our emotions. Remember, opposing Chiron is asking you to leave past wounds or feelings of doubt and insecurity as they relate to partnerships, because here we have the moon in Libra. Um, yeah, it's possible here that this is also Taurus, since we have, your ruler also in Libra. This can be about leaving past wounds or maybe family wounds, any type of wounds here, that might be affecting your work, possibly. It depends, or your health. Yeah, because the moon is about your emotional health as well. This is why your moon is very important important to you, because whatever our moon is in, whatever sign it is declaring where we feel safe or what we need to feel safe, right, in this physical experience that we're having here on Earth. Yeah. So the moon is always about what makes us feel safe, balanced, secure, right? The moon represents the fourth house of emotional security. Yeah, and so Chiron in Aries is asking you to stand up for yourself. That's what that's about. Chiron in Aries, Aries is the self. Stand up for yourself, maybe to let something go, let something dissolve. It's in the house of dissolution and dissolving. And this can have an effect on us too. It can play out in our health, as I was saying, both physical and emotional, or work or our daily lives. And I was mentioning that here. And so now we have Mars Taurus. Mars is down here. Mars is very important. We are coming into Mars season soon when we enter Scorpio. When the sun moves into Scorpio. Um, and so here with this trine though, Mars trining, let's look at the trining Jupiter right here. Jupiter is it's about our faith and our what we really believe in, what is meaningful to us, what makes us kind of excited or enthused, right? What part of life do we want to expand when we look at Jupiter? Because this is everything that is meaningful. It can be travel. Sometimes, and Jupiter is about learning new things in order to expand. It's also about teaching here. And so, um, yeah, and let's have a look at that though. But there's personal power, your personal power in relationships, combined with the nurturing energy of Jupiter and Cancer. This is giving you a very harmonious flow to your relationships. And yeah, and this is, let's see what house this is in for you. This trine here. This is going to be in your seventh house. Yeah, to your relationships. Your seventh house is your house of relationships. For you, Taurus, Mars is the ruler of your seventh house. Um, yeah, of relationships. And Scorpio here, there could be something also that you are seeing here with in Mercury, seeing very deeply or understanding it or uncovering it, seeing beyond the veil, that is helping you to in your relationships that can help you also help you possibly grow and expand, yeah, in your own life and in your relationships. And so Taurus, Jupiter's in your third house. This can have to do with family relationships, romantic relationships, neighbors, anybody who is kind of familiar to you. It can be relationships or people that are in the community as well. Anybody who's really, the third house is about the familiar. It is whatever is familiar. The neighbors are familiar. It can be about paperwork, just things that are familiar to you that you kind of know about. The kids are definitely familiar. Um, yeah, the local community and things like that. All right. So now we have, and yeah, so this here, this Mars trining Jupiter Taurus is about your courage and your nurturing side can both help you grow and expand, right? In any area of your life, any vision that you have right now, Taurus, and Mars is with that trine there, Mars is the vision uh, that we have for ourselves to expand here when we have a trine with Jupiter. So we have Mars and Mercury are in your seventh, and I said that just a moment ago here. This is your seventh house of relationships, relating, right? Relating to others, open opponents, um, can be. And so we have, and this is trining both Mars and Mercury are trining the North Node in Pisces. This is about your dreams. This is supporting what you know and how you think about your higher purpose and what you are striving to do in this life. Now, some of us we're not there yet. We don't, if we're very young, we may not completely understand maybe what our soul really wants for us, because that's really what the North Node, it is your soul's intention in this lifetime, in this physical lifetime, to thrive and to find, what your soul really wants for you here on Earth, right? In this incarnation. Um, yeah, and so we have this Mars and Mercury trining Saturn here and the North Node. And Pisces is about your dreams, your visions, things like that. And Saturn in Pisces is giving form to those dreams. So this can help really make your dreams come true right now, Taurus, whatever they are related to. They could be related to, maybe plans and goals sometimes. This is the seventh house, maybe as they could be, because Mercury is here, plans and goals. Um, there could be something that you really understand here, and that is, understand maybe on a deep level here because it's in Scorpio. about your soul path or about your career, even because we have Saturn here, and Saturn can be about career. It is about seriousness, commitment, and discipline as well, and achievement and authority. So, with Saturn here and the North Node, no, they're not conjunct, but um, I feel like that has passed. And Saturn and the North Node Saturn is retrograde. I don't know if I mentioned that. Yeah, and that is definitely retrograde, which is, also kind of taking a time out to think about what's important for you, right? Maybe to think about your long-term goals could be with Saturn here. Saturn is about long-term goals. Um, and Saturn can be a major maturity showing up here in Pisces that can help you really continue to help you on kind of the best path or what your soul wants for you, right? To continue, excuse me, to evolve. Yeah. And so let's talk about Gemini now, and let's go ahead and refresh this. So Gemini, and the new moon is in your fifth house. The fifth house is about love, pleasure, recreational activities. And here you are back here. We're going to move forward five to the fifth house. The fifth house is ruled by the sun. Yours is ruled by Venus, but the fifth house is about recreational activities, entertainment. It's about creativity as well, but our own self-expression as we lead our life, right? Our self-expression is very important, and that's what the sun talks about. The sun is our core identity or our self-expression. It's also about children because we know the fifth house, self-expression is the ultimate kind of version of, conceiving children, right? Bringing them into the world. But we have it here in the fifth house, and Venus is ruling that. That's really nice. I would say that is very beautiful. This is, I would say, good luck, excuse me, in relationships or creative pursuits. Yeah, and remember the sun and the moon are trining Jupiter for you. This is in your second house, Gemini. So Jupiter in the second house can help you make more money. It can also put you kind of on in this expansive, this kind of and growth, personal growth, right? It's in Cancer. This can be family or, just nurturing, things like that. Um, and so this trine here in your second house, though, and the moon is ruling your second house, and here's the moon in your from your fifth house, trining that second house. This is a beautiful trine for you in these particular houses, I believe. That's how I see this here, Gemini. Um, yeah, and the second house is the house of earned finances, right? Earned income. So you could really be making more money here. Maybe in some type of kind of maybe nurturing or caregiving or caretaking or something like that. It's not really a Gemini thing so much, but this can have to do with family or the nurturing of others. It can. This is about your self-esteem. Jupiter in the second house in Cancer, your self-esteem could be, really good, right? Could be feeling really well about yourself. Um, yeah. And so there we go. All right. So now we have Mars here, Mars and Mercury. Once again, those are in your seventh house, right? Here's your seventh house down here. Let's look at that here. Let's make sure we are, sorry, that is in your sixth house. So let's move ahead here. And we have, yeah, the Mars and Mercury are in your seventh house here. Let me make sure I got it's in your sixth house. I'm so sorry. So Mars and Mercury, Mars in your sixth house, Gemini, is going to make you very driven about your work, about your daily life, about your scheduling, right? Or your whatever you might call it, your planning and your daily planner and things like that, your daily obligations. And so There's something that you know here with Mercury here, you're able to, and Mercury is associated with this sixth house, right? hmm The sixth house of work, health, and daily obligations. So here's Mercury. Mercury likes the sixth house. It really does. And so you could be able to see everything that was kind of hidden from you, or just it doesn't have to mean that somebody has hidden it, just hidden from you, right? In the unconscious. And so now you're seeing that in Aquaria, I mean in Scorpio, as it relates to your work, your health or wellness. Doesn't always have to be health, like, like wellness, right? That is more important these days, wellness, right? That becomes before being ill, right? Take care of yourself, right? Yeah. And that may be very important to you right now, Gemini. Um, yeah, it could be like taking care of yourself, daily schedules that kind of just keep you on track, right? And so, also, relationships are the focus for you because of the sun and the moon both in Libra in your fifth house of love. Yeah. And some of you maybe you want to have a child. The fifth house can be about having a child as well. It definitely can. Excuse me. Yeah, and so let's see. Now we have the ruler of Venus is the ruler of the new moon. It's in your ha fifth house. I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is really happy to be here in the fifth house, Gemini. This can highlight, as I said, highlight more of the fifth house, um, the fifth house themes, right? Which is love and creative pursuits, really, or recreational activities. Maybe you're out, playing some major sports, could be. But there can be drama too in relationships in dealing with others who constantly need your attention. Because the moon is, the moon is here in that fifth house. Venus is there. And so, yeah, and this is your natal your natal Mercury, Gemini. I don't know if I mentioned that to you. So, Mercury in the sixth house is very good. As I was saying, it can keep you driven. And can give you daily routines that are helpful to you, right? You're able to see what's practical and what makes your life function right now, Gemini. You could be learning something new, and that can help support these themes of health, work, and daily routines. Maybe you are learning something new that is kind of that has to do with your work, possibly, or your health, or as I said, daily routines. The South Node is in Virgo in your fourth house. Where's the South Node? Right here. And here you are, Gemini, over here. To me, they are the kind of the pillars, yeah. And we go over here to Virgo in your fourth house of home and family and emotional security. So this South Node here in the fourth house, this is asking you to let go of old wounds, let go of maybe family wounds, past wounds, and grow, right? Just let go of it and move forward. Um, yeah, and so it's also in Virgo, and Virgo is about, it can be about analyzing, as I said, it can be about work and health. It's about service as well. So, maybe there was some type of overdoing it for somebody, like kind of just way too much service here, maybe giving too much. And the South Node and Virgo can also be, although it is very efficient and this is, and wise and like discerning, because they have the same the same ruler as you, Mercury, right, which is down here in your sixth house. So there is something going on here. There's something you're supposed to let go of for sure you are, Gemini. Yeah, and it is trining this Priapus in your 12th house. There's something you got to let go of here. And the South Node with this trine, it's going to happen, right? We also have Mercury right here, sextiling the South Node, giving you this opportunity to, this is also an event. where you might, wow, this could be just, psychological in the fourth house. Excuse me, or emotional, that you are letting something go, or you're learning from something and letting it go. Yeah, you definitely could be doing that. That is the idea too of the South Node, is to learn from either past lives or this life, prior to where we are today, really. In this life in the past, to move forward and really become our best self, right? Our evolved self here with this North Node over here. They're always on an axis, right? Mm-hmm. And the South Node is what you're leaving behind, in a general sense, and the North Node is where you are striving to go, right? Your higher self. So we also have this Jupiter here. We talked about that in the second house for you, Gemini. Um, and so, yeah, this is asking, but this South Node here, there is something that you are learning here, definitely, because your ruler right here is sextiling the South Node there, and your ruler happens to be in Scorpio, which is going very deep. Yeah, with seeing things that haven't been seen before. Hmm Um, yeah, and so now we have your Mercury, and this is trining this North Node over here in Pisces. So Mercury for you, Gemini, in the sixth house. This is, you could get a new job here. Things could really kind of work out for you. Yeah, because it's in the sixth house of work. You could understand something maybe that is linked to your health, and changes are coming. The trine will make everything favorable for this type of support. It is like favorable support. And this happens to be a water trine here, as is the Mercury and the Mars to Jupiter. And so when we see Mercury and Mars trining this house, the North Node, and Saturn, excuse me, and this is in your 10th house of career. Yeah, and this is coming from the sixth house in Scorpio. There, you could have a new job. You could maybe, you could have a new career that will kind of set you up for the long term with this trine, because Saturn is about our long term. Yeah, and in Pisces, it is about our dreams coming true. Saturn here is asking you to be serious and disciplined about your life path, or about what you want to do here, as this is the 10th house of career and social recognitions, or social status, right? Or how other people see us, things like that, and how our status can be changing. But this is a really good trine for you, Gemini. And with the Mars there too, you're definitely taking action on what this is. Yeah, you definitely are. You have the drive to do that. All right, and the sun and the moon are squaring Jupiter, Gemini in Cancer. So we saw the trine. Now let's, from, to Jupiter, let's look at the sun and the moon and look at the square there. And here it is. So the square is here if both the sun and the moon are squaring Jupiter. So the squares are major challenges for us that will compel us to take action. It's this inner tension where we feel like something has to be done to fix the situation. All right. And so that won't last long though, because the sun and the moon are moving very quickly as well. In fact, yeah. And so, but this is some type of tension that will be bothering you here uh, as it relates to creative pursuits and relationships. Yeah, in Libra here, and in your fifth house. The square is to your second house. Your second house can be also your house of values and self-esteem. There's something here that you are supposed to kind of believe in about yourself, Gemini. That's interesting. Uh, in order to kind of follow your creative pursuits, or to kind of be authentic to your own self-expression, whatever you are trying to create for yourself, right? Or whatever you are trying to show the world, whatever you're trying to show the world about yourself, that can be in with here with the sun squaring Jupiter. Yeah, and so there's a tension between your sense of self, your emotions, and perhaps material gain, Gemini, and expansion. This can play out as tension between financial well-being over here, right? This is the second house of financial well-being and your higher purpose, uh, right? Because of this, this is the natal Mercury trine I'm talking about now, but there's some tension here between, and you can see it here with the sun and the moon squaring Jupiter, something that has to do with your well-being or your finances, that you may feel that you have to take action on, or there's some tension because this is your fifth house over here, Gemini, of creative self-expression. So there's something you want to do here. I'm pretty sure it has to do either, it is either helping to support or it should, or you need it to possibly to support your well-being, possibly, right? It's in Cancer. This can be your emotional well-being as well. It can be related to family, but there's something you're supposed to do there, or you feel like you are going to be compelled. Yeah, and so your natal Mercury is trining the North Node. I feel like I mentioned this, and we'll refresh this, but trining the North Node, I talked about that in your 10th house of career, supporting your ideas and your goals, and helping you to achieve and thrive to make your dreams come true, Gemini. So let's move on here, and we're going to talk about Cancer now. Cancer, the Libra new moon is in your fourth house. So here you are, Cancer, and we're going to move forward to Libra. It's four houses. The fourth house is your house. It is the house of emotional stability, and also it is the house of home and family. It's the physical abode where you live, and it is the tribe sometimes that we identify with, especially if we don't have family or they're really far away or something like that. So here, this is happening in that fourth house. And the moon likes to be in the fourth house, although it is because it is your house, right? But it is emotional. It sure is. And maybe you are emotional around the time of the full moon. It could have to do with relationships, Cancer. In fact, I know a Cancerian who is very emotional right now about a relationship. But the sun is there to help you see, Cancer, to help you understand the maybe the dynamics of the situation, right? The moon is at 29 degrees in your fourth house, and this is basically telling you, compelling you to do something as it relates to your emotions, possibly as it relates to like a cycle that maybe that that you want to move out of. Um, but yeah, the sun is asking you to really look at that, right? And so yeah, the full moon is at 29 degrees, is passionate, emotional, intense, and chaotic. Yes, it is. Uh, yeah, the 29th degree is very telling. As I was saying, there's an urgency for you to complete something here, and it has to do with your emotional foundation or your home, right? Or your home and family or where you live. Maybe you want to move, possibly. That can be showing up there. And so the fourth house is, yeah, as I mentioned, where you live, but Jupiter is in your sign. Jupiter is in your sign right here in your first house, Cancer, and this is very favorable for you. So whatever is going on in your life right now with squares and this thing I was talking about over here, um, is you're still being supported by Jupiter. Jupiter loves being in the fourth house. I feel like Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. I'm pretty sure it is. So it loves to be there. And this can be about, nurturing family members that are supporting you, helping you to maybe grow and expand, or kind of feel like you are, like things are a little bit more meaningful for you. This is also good luck. It can be with home and family in your first house of self. And let's look at a little bit more about that Jupiter for you, Cancer, because it is sitting there. So, yeah, we talked about the square, and now we have the trine, and the trine is for Mercury and Mars, for Mercury and Mars. And so, So anyway, we have this trine here, and the trine is to your first house, right? Let's look at that. And this is in your fifth house here. So this is about self-expression. Um, wow. So this is going to be about your self-expression, your creative or artistic pursuits, perhaps. Doesn't always have to be exact, but anything you want to create is an artistic, it's a creator, right? It's creator mode or, and so we have this Mars and Mercury. Let's see, Mars is Mercury is trining that, and so is Mars. And so here we see Mars trining Jupiter right here, right? And so this first house, this has to do with your self-expression, and there's a lot of good luck here for you. There's a flow here, Cancer, for you to evolve and grow personally, of course. It may have to do with, anything that you are kind of creating or, your self-expression out in the world. It can relate to work or anything like that. Mars is here, and Mars is giving you the drive that you need as regard to, maybe in love too. So, Mars in the fifth house, though, in Scorpio, there could be arguing within a relationship. There might be, especially with that square, as we saw the square a little earlier. But there's something that you know what to do, especially it's in Scorpio here, that relates to your own creative self-expression, especially with the trine to Jupiter in your first house. There's something you know that can really help you evolve or something that you want to do. It can be travel. I mean, it can sometimes Jupiter travel and learning. Maybe you are learning something. With Mercury trining Jupiter, I would say you're definitely learning something, and you're seeing beyond the veil. It could be about relationships. It could, and it can be also your own artistic self-expression. So we also have in this house of creative expression, we do have Black Moon Lilith. So Black Moon Lilith is asking us to look at our shadow side and acknowledge it. And, with Mercury next to it, you're seeing what that might be, right? Everybody has a shadow side, right? It's not that, I or anybody else doesn't have one. The shadow side is meant to be studied and confronted and released, or in a way accepted, like, well, that's how I used to be, or these shortcomings, or maybe something you don't like about yourself. But the Black Moon Lilith relates to our shadow side. It can be our insecurities because we think maybe nobody will accept them, something like that. But as long as we are able to acknowledge our shadow side, which is really, it can be seen as our weaknesses, right? As long as we are willing to kind of see that and acknowledge it, and then we can move away from it with this, or we can, improve and evolve, right? And move on because everybody has to see what is below the veil. And it is here in Scorpio. So a lot of people are going to be seeing themselves here or seeing what is hidden beyond the veil, right? And this this could also be in the fifth house. This could be a lover. It has a very shadow side, and you're seeing it right here. And that's another example of, I know, a Cancerian who is dealing with that same thing. Yeah, and so. Yeah, more important that we see things about ourselves, of course, but it is quite helpful to understand if somebody is not seeing things about themselves, lovers, wives, husbands, friends, even siblings, things like that. It's really important for people to have a deep understanding of themselves, right? Yeah. All right. And so yeah, and Jupiter is in your sign, Cancer. So, this can be maybe a time to upgrade or move, possibly, to move somewhere bigger or to move possibly where you feel like you are aligned with something, because Jupiter is about our alignment as well, where you feel like it's part of your life path or best for your higher purpose, things like that, your higher self. Maybe you are moving to a place like that, right? It's possible for some of you. Yeah, and the moon is squaring Jupiter there. The moon and the sun. The moon is in your fourth house, yeah, of home and family. That square, I don't think I talked about that square here. But this moon here, that is the moon, the sun and the moon, who are both, um, both squaring Jupiter here. These are this square, I think I mentioned it, but maybe for Gemini though, but this is going to move on quickly. So the square will not last that long. But there's something that is bothering you right here, Cancer, with this new moon. And it may have to do with home and family or relationships because that is your fourth house. There could be something that you need to settle with somebody here because Jupiter's in your first house and these the sun and the moon are in your fourth. So your fourth is your home and family. In Libra is a relationship. There could be something that you're really tense about that has to do with a relationship or family or your emotional needs, either one. Yeah. That you are kind of being compelled to like move away from or to act on it. At the very least see it because we have Mercury over here. Yeah. And so in Scorpio, yeah. And so yeah, and sometimes the sun and the moon trining this, squaring this Jupiter in your house. This is in your fourth house of emotions. You might not be getting your needs met, your emotional needs met, Cancer, and that's not good for Cancer. Cancer does really need that. So Cancer, we have Chiron in Aries, and Chiron in Aries is opposing the sun and the moon in Libra. And let's refresh that so we can see the wheel, right? Chiron in Aries is opposing the sun and the moon. And here's Chiron. And remember, Chiron is the wounded healer. It is our vulnerabilities, sensitivities, and it also it can be physical or emotional. It really can. But sometimes Chiron, especially in Aries, is just something that we might see in ourselves that's not even true. Some type of shortcoming, like a perceived shortcoming or vulnerability or something like that, that is not even true. They can be, in other words, it can be a self-restriction where we are seeing kind of ourselves in this way that is not really clear, right? Especially in Aries, yeah. So something might really need to be healed here. And for Cancer, that is in your 10th house of social status. And it is wow. And I mean, for some of you guys, you might, and it is opposing Libra in your fourth house of emotions and family and partners over here with Libra relationships. This is a challenge for you where you're feeling kind of your core identity and your emotional side are kind of being challenged here by something that needs to be healed here. It needs to be seen and healed. It is about yourself, most likely it's in Aries, but how it relates to your social status. Maybe you want to get a divorce with somebody. It's possible because this is the relationship here, Libra, and Aries is the self. And so or there's something that simply needs to be healed, right? That can happen. Chiron is also about our reflection in order to help heal things, to really understand, right? And the square is to Jupiter in your first house. So there's something bothering you. And this can be about your career. It's in your 10th house. It can have to do with leaders or fathers, father figures. Doesn't always have to be a father. It could even be a mother sometimes, because anybody who was the kind of the leading figure in your family, right? And so here we have the square. Um, Really interesting here. There could be something going on with mother and father, possibly. It doesn't even have to be like your mother. It could be like your wife's mother or your wife's father, something like that. But something needs to happen here, and this is pushing you to take action. Yeah, with that Chiron there, as it squares Jupiter in your first house, or this is the house of you, the house of yourself, your personal house, and opposing your fourth house of emotions and family and relationships here as it is in Libra. Um, yeah, and something can be revealed for you right now, Cancer. The sun and the moon can both bring revelations. The sun can bring clarity and, shining the light on something. And the moon can reveal sometimes what's really bothering us, but it can reveal things that are deep down, right? Things that have been kind of in the dark. That's what the moon can do sometimes. It is about our emotions, sometimes hidden emotions. The moon can be what is hidden as well. as opposed to the sun, which is, out in the open. There could be a powerful realization here, or something is revealed that is regarding family themes. But all of this, Cancer, is supporting your growth here because Jupiter is here in Cancer, and we have the trine down here. So all of this is supporting your expansion, your personal growth. Yeah, it's a great. So, whatever is going on that may be chaotic with that square, you're still being supported very much by Jupiter. All right, and Jupiter will be in your sign until next June, June 30th, right? And we have the water trine, and you are a water sign, so this is really important for you, Cancer. And where are you here? Um, Here's the water trine to Jupiter in Cancer, and here is the other one from Scorpio to Pisces. So we see these three water signs, and here you are up here. But this water trine is definitely helping you. Um, yeah, because we talked about Mercury trining Jupiter. This is definitely showing you this trine here from Mercury is showing you how to expand. Yeah, how to move forward with your self-expression because that is in your fifth house. Yeah, and and it can be helping you to really see things that have been hidden that will help you grow and expand. Yeah. There's things that are coming out for you, Cancer, that are really showing you it could be people's true colors as well, because Mars sometimes and Black Lilith moon, but in the fifth house of lovers, and then we have the sun and the moon in the house of in Libra in relationships here in that sign. So, Mars here, there could be maybe somebody was, there could be manipulation as well. There can, in relationships, as Mars will oppose. Here's Mars opposing, uh, yeah, it is actually opposing Priapus, which has to do with it has to do with like your masculinity here. So, um, but Mars and Mars is the ruling planet for Scorpio, but these can both be about manipulation. Somebody could be manipulating you, or there could be lies here with lovers, but it is just helping to, like, for helping you to leave things behind too, because here's the sextile, which is an opportunity to the South Node in your third house, the South knows about leaving things behind and learning from them, but this is in your third house of the familiar. This can be, it can be about your plans and your goals. The third house is kind of a big house. It's how you process information, but you're leaving things behind here. You're seeing that something needs to go. Yeah, some type of maybe attitude that you held in the past. Yeah, and you're seeing it and you're letting it go. So that's a really good thing there. All right, and then we have Mercury trining the North Node here. And here's Mercury, right? But, why is it different for you as opposed to Taurus? Because it's in different houses for you, right? Or then Gemini, right? So Cancer, uh, here we have, um, yeah, so this is going to be in your fifth house of self-expression, children. There could be children involved here too. There could be it's like a family situation going on, right? Of course, we've been talking about the fourth house where the sun and moon is. But down here with Mercury and Mars, it is trining let's look at that real quick. Your ninth house of faith and philosophy. This is your house of expansion as well. And it is trining Saturn. This is your career. It definitely can be, but there's definitely some type of major maturity coming here that is playing out that you're able to really see with wisdom, because Mercury in Scorpio is often wisdom or the ability to at least see, what has been kind of kept hidden or stuffed down in the psyche, right? Everybody does that, right? And so as we get older, we start to understand that. But these are hidden patterns. It's in Pisces as well. So this is about unconscious patterns, but you have a vision here. Excuse me, Cancer. It does look like you have some type of a vision that is helping you to, or something in the future, basically, that is helping you to, the North Node is about the future. It is. It's about becoming our best self, but it's here with Capricorn. This could be career related here, and by you seeing beneath the veil about a particular situation that may have to do with lovers or your own self-expression, your creativity, right? That may be, if there are lies or anything that you are finally seeing there, this is really helping you to expand and move forward in your own life. Yeah, it is. It's actually great here. And there's a lot of wisdom in this ninth house for you. Wisdom and Saturn is here. There's a lot of maturity here and self-discipline, seriousness and commitment here. And this is there's something you're seeing here that's really helping you in your life path and move forward and in your career, I believe, too. hmm And so now we have those two trines I talked about. I talked about the Mercury Mars and the trine to Jupiter. Definitely wisdom gained. Um, mhm. And Jupiter is here and showing you, Cancer, where the expansion needs to occur. It's in your first house. So Jupiter is basically supporting you, but kind of pushing you a little bit, right? Pushing you a little bit as to your own personal growth, um, your higher calling, higher realms, things like that. And maybe you are teaching, you could be teaching and traveling as well, that is helping you expand your kind of like your worldview or the view of yourself, right? And self-growth, because it is in your sign. All right. All right, let's talk about Leo now. All right, so let's do Leo now and let's share the screen again. Let me go find that. And where is it? Where is my screen at here? And here it is. Okay, good. Okay, you guys. So, yeah, thanks for waiting that little kind of moment there. So for Leo, and Leo, this is in your third house. This is in the house where we process information. So here you are, and we move forward to the third house. Now, this house of information is about our conversations, our decisions, the way we think about things, right? How we analyze things and discern things. It's also about plans and goals, excuse me, anything that is related to information, the third house. It is also about things that are familiar, like children, the neighborhood, siblings, extended family. It can be paperwork, anything that is familiar to us. Uh, or anything. Doesn't have to be paperwork, but that's where that is, right? And this is also the local community and neighbors, if yeah, it is the third house. So it can be about our childhood as well as it relates to kind of siblings and things like that, extended family. Um, Yeah, and this is also the house of learning and taking short trips. So learning has to do with the familiar, if you kind of understand the connection there, right? But also it has to do with um, short distance travel. That is also the familiar, right? Taking a short trip, I don't know, a few counties away or something like that. That is still the familiar. So this is a very social house too. And why do we say it's social? Because it has to do with our conversations and things like that in the mind. But also, the neighbors and anybody, not just the neighbors, but community, anything where there is kind of social activity. Gemini is about communication, so we start there, right? Um, with the familiarity or the familiarity, the kind of and the social. Yeah. All right. So we have Chiron here for you, Leo. Chiron is showing up sorry about this table kind of wobbling. Chiron is showing up right here. And that is in I think that's your ninth house. Yeah, that's in your ninth house. So Chiron in the ninth house can have to do with um, are like our insecurities and things like that, are insecurities that may be just perceived. They might not even be true, but it's in your ninth house of, you might feel like people don't agree with you about your beliefs or things like that when Chiron is there in that particular house. This can have to do with what you want to learn as well. There could be some type of Chiron can be our insecurity, not just the vulnerabilities or physical or psychological. Usually psychological. It's a very psychological house, the ninth house. And so, but we have here Chiron, and it is opposing the sun and the moon. So the sun and the moon are in this third house of information and extended family, and and the familiar. Um, and this is in your ninth house. So these can both be travel. Maybe you are trying to, the third and the ninth, they can both be travel or learning something. Um, and you could be learning something about yourself. It's in Aries, right? About yourself, Leo, that has to do with maybe partnerships or anything that is kind of like the way you are thinking about something. I feel like maybe you are changing here, or you feel like a challenge about the way you think about something here, about your relationships, most likely, because we're in this Libra season, right, of relationships. But there could be some of the way you think here, and it can be like against yourself, kind of, where you feel like you are restricted in some way, possibly on your, road to expansion, or with your beliefs, you're restricted in some way. And this could be a self-restriction, so don't do that when we have Chiron in Aries, all right? But I feel like this has to do with um, you and your relationships and how you process them, possibly, and think of them. Um, yeah, and how they kind of uh, yeah, that's it. Or how they kind of relate to like what is really familiar to you. There's something here that you're learning, and it has to do with yourself. This is a very interesting. This can play out in many, many ways here, but it is most likely have to do with relationships and yourself. Yeah, and your beliefs. This is the ninth house of beliefs over here where Chiron is. All right. Um, and you could be seeing something very new here. This can compel you to see something um, in the third house over here, especially with the sun and the moon that are conjunct. And they're really having you kind of, this sun and moon conjunction is about you seeing something, but it can be, but it's really about merging the sun, the energy of the sun, which is the masculine, and the energy of the divine, like using both the yin and the yang here to help better manage your life, right? And this could be a partnership between siblings or something. There could be something going on with extended family here, some type of partnership with a family member, um, that has to do with, that is challenging your sense of self or your beliefs. Yeah, either one. Okay, let's move on now from that. And yeah, yeah, there could be an old belief that you have about yourself, Leo, that you need to kind of leave behind, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the sun is asking you to look at old wounds or sensitivities that can hold you back. And that's what I've been saying in a nutshell, right? Now we have the sun, and it is trining the MC. So the sun is your core identity of who you are, and the MC is your career or how other people might see you in the world. It has to do with your long-term goals, and your social status as well. And so, and this can also be about the father right here. So the MC can be about the father or father figures or bosses, even any leaders or higher ups, right? And the sun also has to do with personal leadership, and leaders in general, because the sun was the king in ancient civilizations. The king was not a man. The sun was the king. Yeah. And this is why we call a sun ray, right? The name Rey means king in Spanish, Rey. It means king and queen in many languages, Rey. Reina is the queen. But The sun's rays have to do with our leadership as well. They're just all tied in here. Our personal leadership of ourselves, how we might shine out in the world here. But it is linked to leaders. A lot of Leos are leaders and also entertainers. They want to be out they want, they want the attention or they want to be out in the limelight, in the sun, right? That is what's going on. That's what the sun can represent. And so, yeah, and so this social status can also be about marriage, right? It can be about you've just got a PhD, you move far away, you just become a new father, or a new mother. I mean, any type of social status here, right? Graduating from college is a bit of a social status. It is, because now you're kind of in a different place, right? And so here we have Leo for you. This is um yeah, this is your social status could be changing or something, or there's something that, and you might be worried, you might be a little concerned about what people think here, either about your values or um, it can be definitely, or how you think about yourself. There could be something going on here with that. But we have Jupiter in your 12th, and Jupiter in the 12th house is showing you what needs to be left behind, what needs to be looked at very deeply. It is the 12th house, is the house of mystery. What needs to dissolve and go away, kind of, right? Um, and what you maybe need to release. Cancer can be about release too. That's very interesting. But this is in the house, in your 12th house. And this can be about your visions. There can be something that you kind of need to leave behind that is with you leaving that behind, that can be supporting your vision. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. So let's see what else we have. Jupiter in your 12th can bring healing and growth and the wisdom to, yeah, the wisdom to let old situations and old wounds go. Definitely. Let's see where the South Node is sitting for you in your second house. Yeah, there's things that you need to release here, Leo, that have to do with either your idea of money, um, or your self-esteem. There's something going on here where you are supposed to be releasing old patterns that may be affecting your self-esteem or your well-being, right? Your well-being. It's in also in Virgo. Um, this can be related to service here. But there is a need definitely not to be self-critical. Sometimes when the South Node shows up in Virgo, in your second house of well-being, this can be about you being maybe self-critical. Yeah, no need to do that, right? No. Um, yeah, and we have with this here, with Jupiter here in Cancer, it's self-healing or self-nurturing rather will be the key for you to heal and move on. Remember, I was mentioning that Chiron over there. And just here with the sun and the moon, the way they are situated, right? Especially with that MC. And so now we have Mars, and this is Mars is trining Jupiter. Let's have a look at Mars. Mars is in which house for you? Is in your fourth house of home and family. I mean, this can make you very protective of family members, protective of your own emotional space, possibly. But Mercury and Mars together in your fourth house is basically giving you the drive and the understanding and the knowledge, the intelligence to either make decisions um, that support your emotional state, or maybe to move, right? Because that is the fourth house of home and family. Um, yeah, and so interesting how it is trining that Jupiter right there. And that's what I was saying. So there's going to be courage will be very easy to come by and drive, Leo. Whatever this is, whatever this is related to here, right? Mercury is trining, uh, Mercury is trining the north node of fate, and here is Mercury. So, and next to Mars. And so here we have, excuse me, this is your fourth house is trining your eighth house. Yeah, these are water trines. That's right, exactly. So your eighth house is about intimate relationships and also what is hidden to you. It can be about It can be about seeing truths as well, right? Seeing things that are hidden. It may be about your psychic ability. It can be about real estate and money. Yeah, the eighth house is a place where there is money, inheritances, any type of joint finances, and it is trining that house, Mercury and Mars, coming from your fourth house of emotional stability or home. And this is very good here. This can be that you are buying a home, real estate. It depends here, but you are moving forward here toward either a career or your life path here. Um, you feel like you are striving here or moving toward this north node here with the trine there, and things are easier for you, Leo, either with regard to money. It can talk about intimate relationships because it is coming from Scorpio as well, this water trine, but there's something here that is very easy for you or flowing that has to do with most like making your dreams come true and your career or your social status, your path forward with the North Node, and also that affects either your home and family or your emotions. But you know what to do here. Yeah, you do know what to do. Um, yeah, and uh, be careful for fights, arguments, maybe within the family when we have Mars in the fourth house, right? Or lies, people trying to, hide things from you here. Mercury is not really going to let them, though. No, Mercury's not going to let these lies kind of, you're going to be able to see beyond the veil. So that's a very good thing here. And you have a lot of desire here with Mercury and Mars. As I said, a lot of desire, a lot of enthusiasm, drive, and courage. Yeah. Um, mhm. And so, since we have Jupiter in your 12th house of loss as well, but this is also about dreams and things like that. Um, if you are supposed to let something go here, Leo, the North Node is South Node's in your second house. It is kind of relating to your self-esteem or something like that, or family wounds could be. Um, mhm. As it relates to possibly work or your health, most likely psychological health, you're gonna want to let something go here with Jupiter in the 12th house. So, but this is really to help you expand and grow for sure. All right, so let's talk about Virgo now. And Virgo, yeah, the new moon is in your second house. Let's go ahead and refresh that. Hi, everybody. It's Denise, and today we're going to look at the Libra new moon, and this is for Virgo. So I'm going sign by sign. If I'm wearing a different outfit, you're like, well, what's going on, right? Because these are long videos, so they are. This is usually probably 2 hours altogether. So let's do a little bit, let's do it the Virgo way, which is very methodical. Yeah, which is paying attention to the details, systems and methods, breaking it down video by video, sign by sign. So let's go ahead and here we are, and we are on the screen. I hope that we are. Where is Zoom again? Um, I'm not sure. Am I sharing this video? Let's look at the share here. And we'll do this. Here we are. Okay, beg your pardon, you guys. There's a little bit of a. But let's talk about Virgo. And Virgo for you, the Libra new moon, you're planting seeds in your second house. So the new moon, can simply be an idea about something for the future, right? The new moon. And then we go through the moon phases until we get to the full moon, which usually means a culmination of whatever we were kind of planting, right? It can mean like endings too, for sure it can. And so for Virgo, yeah, this is in your second house, and Virgo, here's Libra. So Virgo, Libra is your second house of money. This is finances, financial stability, well-being, spiritual values, resources, right? These kind of can be money, but it can be for the resources that we have our, way down deep, right? When you need to cope for something, it can be about that. The second house is about values, and Venus is ruling your second house. Yeah, and also, yeah, the second house is about money. So let's look at this a little bit here. Maybe you are planting seeds. You could be also, since it's in Libra, this can be planting seeds in a new relationship, or you're looking at relationships possibly with a whole new kind of, telescope or, microscope, right? You're looking at it differently. Your approach could be different. Your values might have changed. And you could be looking at relationships in a way that may bring you like more well-being, possibly, right? The second house is also the house of self-esteem. Yeah, interesting how they have money in there as well, right? But this is values, how you value yourself and things like that. And the second house is also about possessions. So, you could be maybe your possessions are important right now, or you're buying a huge, a possession that is maybe a big one, right? It's possible here, but Mercury is in your third house, and Mercury is your natal ruler, Virgo. So here's Mercury in your third house. Mercury loves to be in the third house because it is the natural ruler in the Aries chart, the only natural chart there is, which goes one by one, basically. It starts, Aries is the first sign in the first house, but here Mercury loves to be in the third house. It is the natural ruler. This is your ruler. So, um, yeah, in the third house. And then, um, yeah, interesting here. So the third house, this can, be about your goals, your plans. This is also about how you're processing your information, the third house, right? And Mercury is there to giving you like helping you to, make smart decisions and things like that. You could have decisions here that have to do with taking action or a new beginning or having the courage here, possibly, right? Because Mars is supporting Mercury here. I mean, sometimes it can be harsh words, possibly. But there's a lot here to Mars and Mercury together that are conjunct. They're at a perfect conjunction. This can be about you understand where your passions really lie or what's really important to you, right? And because Mars is really about the self, right? It rules Aries. It's all about the self. You could be looking at things maybe a little detached with Mercury there, possibly, but very intelligently for sure. And Mercury is in Scorpio here in your third house. Um, and so you're able to see, Mercury can be about also, it rules like analysis and details. And here you have, right now it's in your third house, but yours is ruled by Mars itself, right? This is Scorpio here, and here we have Mars. But, Mercury and Mars shows you what has been hidden from you, for sure. This is Mercury and Mars is the the energy of the psychic, the energy of the detective, right? Who is really seeing what has been kind of kept hidden. Maybe something was hidden to you, possibly. But in your second house with the moon here, Virgo, this is telling you that you need to complete something. You need to do something that is most likely regarding your emotional well-being. Could be, right? And, the moon is also about your dreams, but it is your emotional mind, can be your body as well, because your body is how these emotions manifest in the body, right? They do. And and this is also the moon here. This can talk about maybe your mom sometimes, right? This is family, things like that. But the sun and the moon, they're almost in a perfect conjunction. So there's some type of clarity here that I believe that you need to complete something. It could be you maybe leaving an old value behind, possibly. The 29th degree is pushing you, telling you. It's a very powerful degree. It is saying before I go into the next sign, you need to do something, right? Or if you're not physically doing something, you need to acknowledge, you need to leave something, related to like your thoughts or how you process information, like that. So, let's look at Mercury and Mars here, and uh, you have Mercury, Jupiter, I'm sorry. You have right here, here's Mercury, the little student, right? It is about learning and the mind, right? So, and this is in your third house. So this is definitely about some information that you could have found out here about yourself. As I said, it's in Scorpios. Scorpio's ruling, Mars is ruling your third house. Mars is there as well. So this is very kind of tied to the information, and your way of thinking about things. You might have plans and goals that you're taking action on with Mercury, with Mars there, supporting Mercury in that perfect conjunction. They're basically, yeah, helping each other when we have a conjunction. For sure they are. And in Scorpio, Scorpio wants to know everything that is hidden, right? This is why Scorpio is the psychic, sometimes the detective, but everything that is kind of hidden or not seen by the naked eye. Um, that's what Mercury and Mars is doing. All right. So now we have, Mercury is trining Jupiter. And here's Jupiter in Cancer. This is your 11th house of the future. There's something flowing for you regarding your future, regarding change. And Jupiter is supporting you in the 11th house. This is expansion for your future. It's also wisdom. There's something because here we have Mercury doing that. And remember, Mercury is the knowledge. So, um, yeah, there could be here, where this is enabling you to expand with Mercury trining. A trine is, a flow, and things can happen with great ease, right? Obstacles are usually removed. This can be also Jupiter's in your house of social groups, uh, excuse me, kind of humanitarianism, things like that. But these social groups, maybe you are really kind of going out a lot right now, Virgo, or your social life is it's improved or something like that. hmm This can also be about Jupiter and Cancer. Can also be about, your family and because it's in Cancer, right? Your family moving forward, possibly. But Cancer is also your emotional health here. So that looks like it is, being supported by the benefic, Jupiter. All right. And so, yeah, and then we have, um, yeah, this is helping you move forward, Virgo, with wisdom. And because Mars is there doing it as well. So Mars is the planet of action in your third house. You know what you're doing. That's how it looks here. You know what you're doing for the Libra new moon. Yeah, and yeah, definitely. And you might also the second house, I mean it's ruled by Venus, but the second house is in Taurus, not Taurus. Um, your second house is in Libra, as I was saying earlier, but this is Venusian as well. So maybe you have a new relationship as well. Venus is about love, could be. Um, yeah, and then we have Mercury is sextiling the North Node. The sextiles, are they not showing up here? No, it's right here. And so the little star, the little asterisk, right? A sextile is an event. It is an event if you take advantage of it, right? It is an opportunity, but you either have to see it or you have to feel like you are ready to take advantage of that, or, but it is a sextile, right? And, I mean, it is an opportunity. So this is also in your third house, and it is being sextiled by the south, well, the south, it is sextiling the south node in your sign. There's things that you're letting go here. Yeah, you're letting go of things here, Virgo, that have to do with the past, that may have to do with family wounds. It's a possibility. But this is change with the excuse me, with the South Node. And the South Node is, it can, as I said, be about family. It can be about the public, possibly, right? Um, yeah, but there's things that you're learning here and that you are leaving behind. For sure you are. And you know what to do because Mercury is there with the sextile, and you have the courage and the drive to leave whatever needs to be left behind. You could simply be seeing, past kind of patterns about yourself that you're just letting go, right? The South Node is where we are trying to move away from, whereas the North Node over here is our higher self, and we're trying to move toward our higher self every day. And all these it might not seem that way. Maybe if you know certain people and you're like, wow, they haven't changed a bit and blah, blah. But that is if they want, right? So it is about going with the flow and seeing what's better for us, right? And this is what the North Node is about over here. So there's always an axis. There's always something going on over here since the South Node is in your sign, and Pisces is your seventh house. Let's look at it. Yeah, it is. So, right now we're in seventh house energy, basically, because Libra rules the seventh house. So, you know, I feel like you might have learned lessons. You have Saturn here, and it's not really conjunct. I feel like that is already past, sort of, but this is about learning karmic lessons, here with the North Node in Pisces as well, in your seventh house of relationships. Yeah, very interesting here. And I feel like you are using your higher self now to really judge relationships. Yeah, to kind of know who might be good for you or, what's not good for you, things like that. Saturn is the seriousness, but it is um, it is about your ambition and your authority, as especially here with the North Node. So, and you have this trine here, and this is what I was bringing up earlier. After the sextile over here, but the trine is coming from your third house. The third house, as I mentioned, just as a reminder, the third house is how you process information, your decisions, your conversations, the way you think about things. And it is also the house of familiarity in terms of, people in your neighborhood, the local community, anything that is familiar to you, even paperwork and things like that that you have to kind of tend to. The third house. Siblings, it's also about taking short trips and learning. Yeah, it is the third house. So here, you are learning here, Virgo. Yeah, and that's what I've been saying here. I feel like you are. Now, here we have this trine to the seventh house. This is from the house of the intellect to the house of your relationships. And there's something here that you can, with the trine with Saturn too, um, it's possible you have some type of a commitment here uh, in a relationship, or something opens up for you where you are able to kind of go off and be in a relationship. You're seeing them quite differently. You are, this is in Pisces too. So, uh, wow, it's so interesting how rules your. This is actually Jupiter. The ancient ruler is really for Pisces is Jupiter. And so Pisces and Sagittarius, which rules Jupiter as well, or vice versa, they both are the mystics. Yeah, because Sagittarius is about the higher realm, spirituality, and faith. And as is Pisces, a little different, but they are definitely the mystic and the visionary. Sagittarius is too. So here, this is in your house of visions, seeing unconscious patterns, things like that. Also dissolving things. So letting things go, really, wow, with Pisces. Um, but I feel like you are able to look at your life, Virgo, like I can make my dreams come true in love or in a relationship, but it could have came by, difficult like challenges because Saturn can be there to show us, like what needs to be done and to follow, basically to have authority in your own life and to achieve in anything. I don't just mean achieve at work or right. I don't mean that. No. I mean, it can be, but not usually uh, in Pisces here in this trine here. And this, this can also be, this trine could be for some of you guys, maybe you want to work in the kind of the metaphysical or in the occult, because Pisces can be about that. But I feel like Saturn in Pisces is helping you like dissolve wounds, most likely about relationships. Yeah, there's some type of major wisdom in this reading here, especially when we have Mercury trining Jupiter. Yeah. Yeah. So let's see here. And yeah, and this is also your house over here, Virgo, of openness. So you're learning something about the way you are relating to others, openness, right? You're learning something about that. And like I said, it could have came by some difficulty whenever we see Saturn there. And Uranus is in your 10th house, Virgo. And let's go ahead and refresh this here. I always look like I'm looking up in these videos, huh? Is that how I look? Yeah, I don't know why that is. It's this. Okay, maybe that's better. Um, all right. So let's look at that though with Uranus. Where is Uranus now? Uranus is here, and Uranus is in your 10th house of social status. Uranus is a game changer. So, maybe you are having major changes in your life as it relates to your social status, which can be anything. It can be getting a divorce, getting married, getting your master's degree, moving really far away is a social status thing, in my opinion, especially if you are like living in some type of brand new kind of change of scenery, all like that. So that sits in your 10th house. This can also be about the father, right? Maybe there can be some possibly instability with your father. This can be career based as well. In this reading, it can be, but maybe your career is kind of, maybe it can be a little bit of instability, but Uranus is there for the long haul. So let's try to see what is more immediate, right? And so Uranus is in your 10th house. As I said, an important life phase can be over. Yeah, it can change in your 10th house with that being your social status. All right. Chiron is in your 8th house. And let's go ahead and refresh. Where is Chiron here? It is right here. This is your 7th house. And your 8th house, as you know, is there. So Chiron in the 8th house in Aries right now. This can be kind of where there's some type of a little bit of insecurity or vulnerability, possibly self, that is imposed on the self, or maybe how you're thinking about yourself even. Sometimes these are perceived. Uh, but let's have a look at that Chiron here. It's in your 8th house, and the sun and the moon are opposing it. So here's the sun and the moon. These oppositions are always important when we're in Libra season, right? The opposition is, especially with the new moon, because they are both here, but even with the full moon, the opposite sign will definitely be of importance, right? Excuse me. And so these opposite signs are really to help us merge and to become in our search for awareness or our search for wholeness. That's really what your chart is about, your natal chart. And but here, whenever we have these planets in Libra, we also have something going on with the self. So, Libra is the couple or the partner, right, or the other. And here we have Chiron in the sign of the self. So the 8th house is about intimate relationships. It can be about money and real estate and things like that, but it is really about the occult and seeing things that are kind of hidden. It can also be about your own personal power, the 8th house. Um, yeah, and so there's something that needs to be healed within yourself as you either as you approach your relationships. The 8th house is also transformation, so this will change for you. There's Chiron is asking us to heal something. It's asking us to really reflect on anything about ourselves that has to do with these eight house themes. And here it is opposing the sun and the moon, right? So, yeah, a lot of this has to do with Virgo as you kind of move forward. You've changed, you've grown, and now you are like your self-esteem is it's higher. It's you're like you are doing better, for most of the, at least according to this general chart, right? Chiron is here squaring Jupiter. And as I said, anything in Aries right now is important because the opposite sign is Libra. So, yeah, and yeah. All right, let's look at that square though. So the square is, a problem. It's a major challenge. It's creating tension, inner tension. This is in your eighth, and this is in Jupiter. This is in your 11th. Jupiter's in your 11th house. And it's also in Cancer. This is about nurturing and our emotions, our family, emotional stability. And this square here, Virgo, from Aries, Chiron is squaring Jupiter. This is saying that you're going to feel this need to like get over something or to, as I said, like maybe heal, but you're being kind of pushed here and challenged to see the wisdom in your life about something because here's Jupiter in your house of the future, and Jupiter is your wisdom, it is your expansion, it is your growth. It is things that are very meaningful to you. Yeah, and this can also be about, Jupiter sometimes in Cancer here can be about self-nurturing. It can, in order to expand, right? In order to move forward. But everything looks really kind of evolutionary for you, Virgo. And I think that Libra season is a good season for you. There may be endings here. There could, when we have this Chiron and the square, there could be an ending for you. The new moon talks about something new, but there might be an ending for you as well. Some type of dissolving something, at least psychologically, it does look like. All right, Virgo, and thank you so much for watching. And let's move on now to Libra. And Libra, the whole right intro is for you. Um, yeah, and so this is in your first house of self, right? The sun and the moon. The sun is telling you that, hey, you need to plant new seeds or, look to the future, kind of. It can tell you that you can start something, at least with an idea. That is, the new moon and the sun there, right? And the sun with the moon in a new moon, it is kind of really giving you the divine masculine you need, the courage and the strength and all this stuff, and to take action. And the moon is supporting your like emotional needs, but these are combined because they are in a conjunction. So this is very favorable for you and everybody else, depending on kind of what sign, what house it's in. So Libra, you also have Venus in your first house. Venus loves to be in Libra and Taurus, and because this is your natural ruler. Yeah. And and so there's something you might be seeing about your relationships. It could be about how you are making money. Venus is also about money, especially when we refer to Taurus. But we're in the house, we're in relationships, in the season of relationships, but maybe you are also seeing new ways to make money. You could be doing that. And if this is in your first house, this, Venus, this is a time for self-love, Libra. All right. Uh, hmm And so let's see what else we have here. Yeah, the focus right now is with the sun and the moon in your sign is putting the focus on relationships. It could be also beauty in your life. Stability, yes, it could be financial as well, but that is the focus. Um, and being open and your own well-being, yeah. And so Chiron is the wounded healer, and Chiron is here. And so Chiron is, where are you? Excuse me, Libra. Chiron uh, is in your seventh house of relationships. Wow. Oh yeah. So it's always the seventh house. Aries is your opposite sign. It's always in the seventh house for you. because the opposing sign is really the seventh, right? And so here we have Chiron here. This is definitely about you healing relationship wounds. For sure it is. Planting new seeds. Maybe you're doing something different in a relationship. Maybe your approach is different. Um, yeah, but it's asking you to heal something that has to do with yourself, maybe your own insecurities. Yeah, we all have, right? Some, yeah, there's no none of us are perfect, right? I haven't seen that yet. And so here, but your whole chart is about your growth, right? You're evolving. So here you have in the seventh house, Chiron, and so it is squaring, here, Libra, it is squaring your 10th house of social status. It's in, this can be about you really feel like you want to expand something. Maybe you feel like you want to go to kind of like a better social status, possibly. This can be about career, right? Venus is also about, your money. But there's something here, you're feeling pressured here that has to do with either your social standing. It could be about your father sometimes with the 10th house, but this more or less has to do with career or social standing and how you kind of since the opposition is showing here with these are separate, but in a way they are very linked here. And this is telling you that you need to listen to your wisdom um, in order that will can help you really grow. When we have Jupiter in the 10th, this can be about expansion in your career. Um, as it relates to family too, and home and family, because we have it's in Cancer. But there's something here about your emotional health that is that you're seeing. It doesn't have to be emotional health. I mean, here Chiron is squaring Jupiter in Cancer, which is emotional health. As it like relates to or security, it doesn't always have to be, like your emotional security or security within a relationship or within some type of structured, maybe in a relationship as well, or a career. So let's go back over here, and now we have and you are trying to establish something here. We have the Sun Moon squaring Jupiter. Let's go back here, and we see the square right here, and yeah, this is you're trying to establish balance with somebody or with it can be with family relationships here or it just can, yeah, and anybody in your family, husband, wife, kids, whatever. But this is you putting pressure on you to kind of uh I believe to it could be too not to worry about what other people are thinking. Yeah, because this is also the 10th house is the house of how others classify us, Libra. Yeah. And the square is there putting tension, trying to make you take action here. You do have good luck here, the MC, kind of good luck here. This is a flow. You have the sun and the moon trining the MC, and the MC is it is it does represent your career and how others classify you, your social standing. And there is a trine there from the sun and the moon. So, there's a flow here, but I do believe that in order to improve maybe your situation with a father, it could be any father. It doesn't have to be, your father. It could be your husband, right? Who's a father or your grandfather, things like that. But this can also be with the mother too. There could be with the square here, I mean, with the trine here, this is setting up some type of ease and flow for you to maybe to kind of like achieve with your career. I feel like it is, um, but the square in with this Jupiter here is it's telling you to basically pay attention to your wisdom in if you want to move forward and expand in your life, in career, um, any authority figures as well. The 10th house is the house of authority figures. So, I mean, that really can be anybody. That could be somebody who is kind of overbearing, even somebody who's trying to have authority over you. This is the 10th house. So, very interesting here. All right. So And you're trying to establish balance with someone. Follow your intuition, as I was saying, wisdom basically, but follow your intuition regarding any serious relationship, Libra, or long-term goals. Yeah, you may not like something, yeah, about how others see you. That's a possibility, or you feel like your needs have not been met. Because of the square in Cancer. This can be about your needs, and it is the moon as well. OMG. So, um, but the sun and the moon asking you to see something. So this 29th degree asking you to see it and act on it, release it, move on, because the square is putting tension on you. Now, the moon is at 29 degrees in this is telling you to do something. And yeah, it is telling you to do something, and that's where the opposition is with Cancer. I mean, with Chiron. So there's something about yourself, something about your relationships, is at the when the moon is at the 29th degree. Yeah, and the sun, I believe, is showing you most likely what needs to be done. There's some type of healing here as it relates to your relationships, for sure. When we have the sun and the moon opposing Chiron in your first house or your house of self, right? Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, and that trine can bring in changes right here, Libra, that can support your career, support how maybe you feel kind of others are classifying you or seeing you, support your social status. Your social status is, it can be a promotion as well, but you could maybe be seen in a higher light, in a, or a lower light, but not here, not right here, but most likely in a higher light, right? Yeah, because of this trine. And this can bring in changes that will support your career and your emotional health or your emotional security, right? Yeah, and this can be about work or family and relationships for sure. Mercury and Mars right here, Libra, and where is it? Is in your second house. Mercury and Mars can it can drive you to make more money. It can also, lift your basically lift your self-esteem. It can, or your values. This can also talks about taking action, new beginnings, about your values. The Mars is ruling Scorpio, and it's in Scorpio. So this can be about your values. You know what to do here in the second house with regard to, I feel like this is regarding your emotional health, but this can be regarding money as well. Um, and so, yeah, and we have this is trining Saturn and the North Node in your house of work, health, and daily obligations. That is a beautiful thing here. It's giving you the courage you need, the drive, the desire in your sixth house of everyday life. There's something you're improving. You're improving your daily life, your schedule, or just maybe it has to do with your health. You could be improving your health possibly here. Pisces is about psychological health. But your life purpose here, or your higher purpose, your true potential, is sitting in your sixth house. I find that to be very good, very beautiful. Saturn is there, and there's a trine here. So most likely here uh, that your everyday life or your work is going your way, is favored. Yeah, and with this knowledge that you have in the second house, you really could be seeing deep patterns here because Scorpio is about depth and all that is hidden. That's right, and Mars is there. Be careful for, kind of this can be too, be careful for kind of uh, maybe, anybody you work with who is kind of angry or something like that, or angry words, possibly coming from intimate partners here because Scorpio is about that. But in general, I feel like this is a very beautiful trine here and just adding flow and ease to your life. Um, yeah, in your house of work, and things are opening up for you, Libra, to support long-term goals with Saturn here. You might have learned some karmic lessons here that have to do with work or about maybe how you go about your daily life. But this is really, Saturn is bringing structure here to your house of work. Yeah, it is. And so here we have the North Node. You might really know this can be about you just kind of moving into your life's work. It could be Capricorn. Saturn is also can be about your career, and this is your path here. This is your soul's intention for your path, your North Node. It is about your evolution and becoming your higher self. And so we have it in the sixth house. Um, yeah, I feel like things will be running better for you after the Libra new moon. Um, and also, yeah, money can, your career can, really take place. This can be about retirement for some. It can when we have this trying to Saturn here. But this Saturn here is giving structure to your dreams. It's in Pisces, right? Pisces is about our dreams. Um, yeah, you're seeing something here for sure when we have Mercury um, with Mars, and this can be about your self-esteem here, and that it is there's some type of you're evolving in this with these energies. I feel like you are, and so we have Jupiter. Where is Jupiter? Do we talk about Jupiter yet? Things are opening up for you, Libra. And let's see here. Yeah, and also, yeah, I was talking about trusting in your dreams. Don't forget that right here. This is allowing you to really trust in your dreams and for things to flow for you. All right, Libra? Yeah. And now we have your natal Venus is in your sign. I feel like I might have touched on that when I first came in to the reading. But your natal Venus is there in your first house. This is very supportive. It is. So this is helping you with your well-being, helping you possibly to make more money. This can be self-love, Venus in, this can be you are working on your creative endeavors. Um, yeah, and this is also very like favorable for your love relationships, Venus there. Um, yeah, and so let's see. And yeah, Venus is very happy. And you could be really kind of longing maybe for emotional security, Libra. You might, especially as it relates to relationships, because we have Venus here and it is opposing, we don't see that. Venus is, where is that opposition in Aries? I don't know why I'm not seeing that here on the wheel, right? Venus is opposing Neptune in Mars. I feel like it is probably separating here. Let's refresh this. Um, here in not Neptune and Mars, but Neptune in Aries. And yeah, they're not showing that. So that is either um it could I don't know why I thought that. It could be it's possible here. It is in an almost opposition though. We see these Venus is here. Let's look at what degree Venus is at. Venus is at 9 degrees and yeah, let's see. We have Neptune in Aries at 0 degrees. Okay, well, it's not a quite an exact, like, a very close conjunction, opposition. Um, but anything in Aries for you, Libra, right now will be important. Why do I say that? That's your opposite sign. So whatever's going on for you over here, in your sign or in your first house, will always be influenced some way by this opposite sign, especially since you are the partner or the couple. You're about that. Aries is about the self. So and that's how all the opposite signs are. There's always a merging that needs to be done to evolve or to make things better, make your life flow, basically. There's a need to be careful about your intentions. Possibly, let's see, when we have Venus opposing, it's not showing up for some reason. I don't really know what that's about. Maybe I feel like it's the degrees, but it isn't a close one. And Neptune in Aries is confusing us about what we need to do. It is, it could be escapism, but it definitely is like bringing uncertainty to your house of relationship, and as it, nearly opposes your first house. Yeah. So there we go. So, so try to gain clarity on whatever you are kind of dealing with, right? There's a need to be careful about others' intentions with that. There is. Um, yeah. And so Venus is trining Uranus Libra. Where is Uranus? Here it is. Venus is down here, and we don't see the trine. I'm not really understanding why it's not showing up here. Yeah. Yeah. So let's have a look at that. And let's refresh this. And I was saying here, um, all right, so that is not actually showing up here on the wheel either. I feel like this is probably off maybe a degree or so. But here, let's refresh this. And yeah, but here is Venus. And we have this, let's see what else we have here. This is at 9 degrees. Let's look at the anti-vertex. All right. Well, I feel like this is a separating trine here. Um, it is from your house of self, and Uranus is in your ninth house here. hmm and this is also encouraging you in Gemini, right? Yeah, encouraging you to make decisions and plans and goals and to trust change. Yeah, because Uranus is all about change in your ninth house. Interesting, your spiritual beliefs, your faith, or how you want to move forward and expand, like what really kind of is meaningful to you. Yeah, and yeah, there's like a loose trine here, but you and this is about your values over here. So what you are doing here, trust it, trust the change, and by being authentic to your beliefs and your higher purpose, Uranus in your ninth house, just go with it, Libra. Trust your own authenticity, right? And Libras can sometimes have trouble with that because you guys are the house of the other, the couple. So there's always the other person kind of that is in your energy, so to speak. I just mean psychologically, right? You're always thinking of the other person or how to balance things. But go with the change and trust it. All right. All right. Thank you so much, you guys. And let's move on now to Scorpio. And Scorpio, the new moon is in your 12th house of intuition. Yeah, this is your last house here, right here, and this is about letting things end, dissolving, dissolution. It's also about seeing hidden patterns, the 12th house. It is the house of the unconscious mind, the house of the mystic, also the house of uncertainty. It can be the house of illness as well. Yeah, it can sometimes, right? There could be a little bit of confusion here, but it depends here. But I feel like the sun is helping you to see what kind of needs to be left behind. And since it's in Libra, you might be leaving your whole approach on relationships behind. Maybe you have an ending in a relationship, right? Yeah, wow, Libra in the 12th house can definitely be about endings. Um, yeah. And so, yeah, and this new moon is also in your house of doubts and fears and healing, loss and healing. It's the 12th house, right? Pisces are Pisces rules the 12th house, and so that is about healing, illness, but healing as well, right? Often psychologically or spiritually. Yeah, that's a real thing for sure it is. And I feel like that's going to change moving forward, right? Right now, it's only in the physical. Not only, but it has been uh, just the physical for such a long time, and our psyche has so much more. It is the thing that drives the physical body, right? Yeah, your psyche, and and so, yeah, a relationship could end here. Could interesting the new moon. Yeah, you're probably planting seeds in how you approach relationships in a new way. It could be. And so Mercury and Mars, and this is your natal Mars, Scorpio, um, is in is in your sign in your first house. And so Mars here, and this is really very intelligent here, or you're able to really kind of see uh, what needs to, like, able to see your desires. This is a lot of courage here. It can be about hidden patterns, things that you couldn't see before because Mercury is here with this perfect conjunction. And that is in your first house. This is about yourself. Yeah, this is definitely about yourself. You're able to see something, um, and you are looking at something with basically with a certain amount of wisdom here or understanding with Mercury. And Mars is making you like change or take action possibly and step into something new. But Mars is all about the self and wanting to, it's taking action, right? It's not sitting there at all. But there's something here that you are driven for, or you just have courage to look at things in I feel like in a very realistic way. Yeah. And you could be really trusting your intuition here, Scorpio, when we have this about yourself. Mars is here in your sign until that's the sign of taking action and courage. But Mercury is here, letting you see everything that was hidden in the past. Yeah. And let's look at this here. Yeah, Mercury is and Mars are trining Jupiter. Jupiter is in your, let's see what house this is in for you. Um, in your ninth house. Yeah, I might have mentioned that. But the ninth house for you is the house of expansion and growth. It's the house of your higher purpose and faith and spirituality. It is what is meaningful to you in this life. It can be about travel, or learning and publishing as well, teaching. But this is, you could be really learning something here about yourself. Mercury is in your first house, and that is really helping you to move forward, right? And Jupiter is also about our expansion. It could be related to family here, but this is all about your emotional stability, I believe, emotional mind. You look like you are maybe a little stronger here than possibly than before, right? Yeah, this is yeah, you could be traveling here as well, but or as I said, learning or teaching or publishing something. But Scorpio, this is uh giving you, this is a flow and ease um to your ninth house of expansion. Yeah, and Jupiter is there. Jupiter loves being in the ninth house. So there's a lot of wisdom I feel like that you've gained here with Mercury in your first house and Jupiter in your ninth. Yeah, a lot of wisdom for you. Um, Yeah, and you could be in a new relationship, um, possibly, or ending one. It's either one because Libra's in your 12th house about endings, right? But it is also a new moon. This is a new time for you regarding relationships, whether or not you are ending one or starting one. I feel like it has to do with yeah, and your dreams in love, it's possible they are all different now. Like your dreams about, your kind of maybe pie in the sky attitude about relationships, that could definitely be changing, right? And you might be looking possibly at things more realistically with regard to relationship. And Mercury and Mars is sextiling the South Node, and that is right here. Um, yeah, and so. Um, yeah, and so Mercury is the mental and Mars is the physical, right? So they're acting together. I know what to do here. I know what drives me. I have courage. These are my desires. I'm seeing things pretty clearly, I would say here, especially in Scorpio. But here we have the sextile to the South Node, which is in your 11th house. So this is about you letting go, you understanding what needs to go in order for you to move forward. And there's an opportunity for you to do that in order for you to expand. Um, yeah, and because this is here in your 11th house, it's in Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and here's Mercury. So, uh, yeah, so this is also the ability for you to discern, to understand these lessons. The South Node can be about karmic lessons, just to understand what no longer is good for you, right? Yeah, what no longer works for you. And so now we have right here with your Mars, right? Your natal Mars is with Mercury is trining your this the Saturn and the South and the North Node. I beg your pardon. So we see things going on here, this opportunity with the South Node to leave things behind, learn from the past. Could be wounds sometimes, right? The past can always have some wounds in it, right? That's just life. But here you have your North Node, Scorpio, in your fifth house of self-expression. So, yeah, and this is maybe your artistic, notions or pursuits rather. Um, but this is in Pisces as well. I just feel like you're seeing a lot here, like intuitively about your life. And also, this is the fifth house of love, right? Yeah, and this is in your first house here. Yeah, you're learning here about love, and you have some type of there's a flow and an ease here that has to do with your commitments, kind of your seriousness, your self-discipline, and your higher purpose over here, whatever that may be, right? This is also you just evolving, right? The North Node, it is in Pisces, so really interesting in your fifth house here. Yeah, you could be really trusting your artistic pursuits here as well. You might be doing that. This can have to do with children, your fifth house, definitely. But this is a water trine, and this is kind of this open energy here where you're just trusting this receptive energy where you're trusting your intuition, you're trusting that things will flow, and that like all is well. This is the type of energy that we have here. Um, yeah, and so. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, and with the Mercury Mars sextile, trining right here, Mercury Mars, not the Mercury Mars. Oh, yeah, sextile with the South Node. This was in your 11th house. This could be to your letting go of friendships or things that or people that maybe you thought you were kind of like-minded, right? You're on the same page, things like that. Yeah, the sun is hitting me here. But yeah, and so you could be letting go of friendships as well, or your kind of belief in certain groups, right? Your affiliations with groups, things like that. Yeah, so let's see what else we have. And uh, mm-hmm. Yeah, follow your higher purpose. We talked about that. And with the Mars, trining this Saturn, yeah, this could be too. And this could be your career as well. You could really be moving forward in a career. Um, yeah, and one that maybe is, really reflective of who you are, like your self-expression. That trine can be showing up there. It is most likely related to your higher purpose, as I was mentioning with the North Node there. And this is all in Pisces. Trust your visions, Scorpio. You guys usually do that. Yeah. I do know a Scorpio who that is like so not Scorpio, and that has to do with her rising sign, um, which is probably not Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. Uh, yeah, because they're very intuitive, right? Not to mention there's other intuitive signs here as well. But trust your visions. It's in Pisces, definitely. And your dreams, excuse me, and your aspirations. Yeah, be authentic to who you are. Definitely be authentic to who you are, Scorpio. And you're moving away from doubt and uncertainty. Here's Pisces. This can be about doubts and uncertainty. You could be transforming. It is here in your first house. You could definitely be transforming yourself. Yeah, that has to do with your own authenticity. Like you're changing. Definitely. You're definitely changing. Okay, and there's a knowing here, and likely that may have to do with relationships. The fifth house is your sign as well. Scorpio can be about intimate relationships and the money that you earn with other people. It does not always a partner, but 401ks, inheritances, and all that stuff. That can be right here. Scorpio is about that. Now, over here in Pisces, um, yeah, there's a knowing. That's what I'm saying. Trust your visions. There's definitely a knowing here with these two very intuitive signs with the water trine. Yeah. Pisces believes anything is possible. Saturn is there giving form to your dreams and what you want, your artistic pursuits. And Scorpio with Mercury in your sign is telling you what to do, or with Mars there especially, or It's bringing you a major understanding. And this is what I mean about trust yourself and trust your visions. Yeah, Chiron, let's talk a little bit about Chiron here. Um, yeah, let's see here. Chiron is the wounded healer. This is in your sixth house. Your sixth house is your house of daily obligations, your daily life, right? How it works or how it might not function, right? Um, and Virgo is the ruler of that, and Virgo wants things to kind of work out. But for you, let's look at Chiron, and Chiron is in your sixth house. Your sixth house is ruled by Aries. Uh, this means that you really go after. I mean, this isn't, yeah, this means that you really go after the work that you want, and you really you have courage and everything to really kind of make your life function. Virgo wants everything to function, but you have Aries, the Mars is ruling it, and Mars is your natal ruler. So Chiron's over here, and that is opposing the sun and the moon. You're feeling challenged here in your house of endings. There's something that needs to be healed. With the opposition is a challenge. It can be seen as an opportunity to merge something, but it's something that is like a challenge that needs to be overcome a little bit. And so here, Chiron is in Aries. This is about yourself, that some type of like vulnerability or sensitivity, or it could even be a physical or but usually psychological, right, with the moon here. But you're supposed to like let something heal that has to do with yourself and your approach to relationships here. You could be this is in your 12th house, Libra, right? So you could be letting a relationship go in your house of endings as you are able to uh, heal something about yourself. And as it relates to as it can relate to your health, possibly, or your work or your daily life. This is, maybe you don't want your relationships to, I don't know, you are trying to integrate them into your daily life or your vision or, about that. But something needs to heal here. Um, Yeah, something needs to heal for you with the sun and the moon opposing Chiron. Yeah, and I feel like it has to do more with, it could be health, the sixth house is also the house of work. It's the house too of pets. So, maybe you are kind of possibly dealing with a pet. The 12th house is over here um, that maybe that is, dying or that is ill, possibly. This is also the 12th house of illness. So there could be a pet here with Chiron here, and that's a possibility, right? Yeah. But you look like you are ready for change here as well. Yeah, with that opposition there. You can feel challenged, ready for change in relationships uh with a lot of doubt and confusion, but it's finally revealing something to you, Scorpio. Yeah. hmm Yeah. So, Neptune is in your sixth house. This can bring confusion to your daily life. It can. So, um, it can also bring creativity here. That is going to depend, right, in your imagination here. But yeah, that will definitely depend. But Neptune is about your visions as well. Trust your visions. Trust your intuition. Definitely. Trust your imagination, even. Yeah. You guys are really good with that, Scorpio. You are. And let's see what else we have. And we have Jupiter in Cancer, and that is trining Saturn. And let's see, let's have a look here. And we have the trine right here. Saturn is in your fifth house, your house of self-expression, children, parents, love, and fun. It's also the house of fun. Saturn is there in your house of fun. But there's a trine here, and Saturn, maybe you haven't been having fun while Saturn is there. It is retrograde. I mean, that can, kind of diminish that a little bit. But here we have Jupiter trining Saturn. Jupiter sits in I believe, your 10th house. Let's look at it here. Yeah, no, it is in your ninth house of faith and philosophy, your ninth house of higher realms, Jupiter. That is really nice when Jupiter sits there. Um, and so we have the trine to Saturn. Where is that here? hmm Yeah, Jupiter in Cancer is trining Saturn. Saturn is in your fifth house of self-expression. As I was saying here, with the North Node, it's not in a conjunction, which, is a little is more supportive, but they're still there in your fifth house here. You could have learned karmic lessons that have to do with relationships, you might, or with your own authenticity, your personal leadership, your personal agency, which is so very important, right? It is. There's nothing that is more important than our own evolution. There's no relationship. There's no, big bag of money or pie in the sky or whatever it is, right? None of that is more important than your own evolution. And that is what your natal chart is reflecting. Yeah, your own natal chart, right? Um, yeah, and so let's see what else we have here. There's a flow and an ease. Yeah, Neptune is also being trined by Jupiter. And here it is, right? So here's Jupiter trining Neptune in your sixth house of daily work. Yeah, and so this can be what was kind of uncertainty now is leading the way for you with your beliefs and like higher ideals or your expansion, right? Your wisdom as well. There's something here. There's a major wisdom here for you when we see Jupiter in the ninth house where it loves to be. And this is your expansion, and this is evolving. This is wisdom. And so here we have it coming from Neptune is in your sixth house of, yeah, something that could have been very, maybe unclear about your daily life or something like that. I feel like there's an understanding for you because here we have Mercury is in your first house. Yeah. So there's definitely an understanding for you to expand your life. Um, yeah, there definitely is. And I feel like the new moon is helping you do that for sure. Um, yeah. All right, let's see what else we have. And trust your intuition. I've been saying that, and your imagination, because Neptune is here. This is just about your daily life, right? Neptune's showing up in your daily life. Trust it. Yeah. Just trust your own intuition, trust your dreams, trust your visions, and you have clarity over here. You do about what needs to go, Scorpio, and also what is new for you. I feel like you have some clarity here about that, and that Mercury in and Mars in your first house is helping you with that clarity. All right, and setting up some type of very easy and flowy energy that can help you either with career, your self-expression, your artistic, or your love life. Yeah, all right. All right, thank you so much, you guys, for watching. And now we're going to move over to Sagittarius. And all right. Okay, this is going to be for Sagittarius. Sagittarius, this is the new moon for you, right? The Libra new moon, and that is happening in your 11th house of the future. So you have some type of new beginnings here when we see that, right? Sitting in that house of the future. It's also about your gains, whatever you have worked on. The 11th house is basically a result of the 10th house of really kind of hard work or discipline. And Saturn, the 10th house, is career, rules the 10th house. So that brings gains to your 11th house of the future. The 11th house, Sagittarius, is also about social groups. um yeah, it is about unexpected change that usually has no kind of warning. But we'll see, right? The 11th house here, it is your house of hopes and wishes. So here it is right here. Here you are, Sagittarius. We have two signs back, right? So this is the 11th. The 12th house for you is Scorpio, ruled by Mars, which is highly interesting because then that makes you like It does make you very like kind of intuitive. It does, not kind of, but because you rule the ninth house of religion and faith and spirituality, higher realms, things like that. But let's see what this is doing for you, the 11th house. So you could be planting seeds, Sagittarius, seeds that are um, these seeds that are setting the stage for something new. It could be a relationship, possibly, because here's Libra, right? It's in Libra, the 11th house. That is about relationships. It is how we relate to others. It's about being open. It's court cases, peace and harmony because of the scales and things like that. That is Libra. And so, yeah, and also Libra can be about money. Uh, it can because of Venus, and actually we have Venus here, which is, very much at home in Libra, always also very much at home in Taurus, but we have it in Libra, the sign of relationships. And so there could be a business partnership possibly here, but Libra, I mean, Venus is also about money, money handlers. It rules also your second house, not yours particularly, but in the natural chart, the second house is about our earned income, our possessions, our financial stability. So you could be planting something new here, Sagittarius, with regard to your finances. All right. Venus in the 11th house, this could be major self-love and self-care, things like that. Yeah, very interesting. And Venus is also about like not only our possessions, but um, it is about well-being, definitely. Well-being and self-esteem. It definitely is. So it's in your 11th house. It's a great place for that to be. It sure is. Um, and so your natal Jupiter, Sagittarius, is here in your eighth house. Yeah, you have all these kind of, and it's in Cancer. This is super intuitive, psychic ability. It can be, right, when we see, because your eighth house is ruled by the moon. Now, Jupiter in your eighth house is helping you to expand. This can be helping you to transform, and it can be about relationships. You could really be understanding something about intimate relationships and how you possibly approach them. The eighth house is about intimate relationships. It's also about your money, right? And yeah, it is. It's about your money. It can be real estate, especially when it is in Cancer. Excuse me. For some of you, you can be upgrading a home. Maybe you are just moving, you're renting, and you're moving up, kind of, right? Could be. But Jupiter and Cancer can be many, many things. This can be, your family life as well is favored, right? Relationships with because Cancer is family here. Maybe this can also be a great relationship with your mother or family. Um, but the eighth house, I feel like you're able to see something that is related to your your path, your life path here with Jupiter, because it is about your higher path, higher realms. Maybe you could also be traveling, you might be moving abroad. There's a big thing when we have Jupiter in Cancer in the eighth house. It can be you are traveling, teaching, publishing something, possibility here, definitely. And this can also be, that you are definitely kind of going through a nurturing time in your life. You could be the eighth house is also profound change, right? And we have Venus here in your 11th house. Possibly, this can also be, it can be self-care, like for the future, right? This is what we need to do. We all need to do that, right? And so Jupiter in the eighth house, Sagittarius, is asking you to trust your higher vision, trust your wisdom, right? Whatever is meaningful to you and feels expansive, trust it. It's kind of your whole gig, right? It is about wisdom and your life path and learning that wisdom through expansion and growth, right? And definitely growth here. So, yeah, Jupiter's asking you to do that. You could get into a spiritual relationship or a very passionate one or intense relationship. with Jupiter here, this can be, you could get into a relationship that is super intense, uh, you know, um, possibly emotional, but very intense. And you could be learning, also learning, just basically learning by way of a very intense or passionate relationship. If you're interested in the occult, spirituality, or astrology, you could be making money doing this as well. Yeah, possibly here with, Jupiter in the eighth. If this is something you want, you're going to be seeing truths, Sagittarius. The eighth house is about truths too. It's about, what we can see, what's been like kind of concealed to us, and what may be revealed to us. That can be the eighth house, right? It's about seeing truths related to these themes of the eighth house, or of Jupiter here. hmm and possibly about family or tribe themes, family. And in case you don't have family, we want to say the tribe, the people that you really, the people you nurture, or the people who nurture you, the people who are definitely, they feel good in your life, when we look at it emotionally or from a place of emotional stability. That is Cancer, right? Um, and so you could have money coming in with that eighth house. You could have inheritance coming in here, or some type of money, Sagittarius. You could, because that is a money house for you. Yeah, maybe you are making money with family. You could be doing that sometimes when we see Jupiter in Cancer, in the eighth house, right? That's a possibility here. And Venus, the ruler of the new moon, is in your house of the future. I think I mentioned that earlier when I came in. Yeah, I did. Venus is there. And so this is also about uninvolved relationships. This can be maybe a money relationship that is like kind of uninvolved, or the 11th house is about kind of unattached relationships or uninvolved ones, like friendships or club affiliations, things like that. Things, maybe even, movements that you believe in, or things like that that are of the public usually. And Venus is opposing the DC. There's a need to blend or kind of merge something. There's a challenge between your need for emotional security and your own independence. That could be going on there, which is, highly, which is always interesting, right? And Mars and Mercury is in your house of endings. And so this is in Scorpio. So, uh, yeah, your house is really interesting how Mars rules your 12th house. We have Cancer ruling your 8th house. These are your very spiritual houses, basically, your intuitive houses, your psychic houses, your houses of seeing kind of beneath the veil. And so here we have, Mars in your 12th house, and Mercury's in there too. So Mercury is in Scorpio, can be about your psychic ability, right? Psychics and intuitives and people who work with the occult, astrologers, past life reading people. Those are me, right? But even detectives that go, they have to go real deep, right? Mercury in Scorpio is that. It is. A friend of mine is a detective. She is, but huge for a huge company. Where she is, basically kind of seeing where people are cheating, right? They're taking the money or the products themselves, right? Yeah. So Mercury and Scorpio, she's always wanted to, that's what she does, right? She's trying to lift the veil, right? About theft. So, but I'm just trying to point out here what Mercury in Scorpio does, um, as well. And, yeah, this can make you super kind of knowledgeable or wise about your intimate relationships. The 12, because it's ruled by Mars here, Scorpio, intimate relationships. Um, yeah, definitely. And you can also, Sagittarius, since that's in the 12th house, you could be seeing that something needs to dissolve. Maybe your attitude towards something, or, because Mercury does represent the mind and the analysis, decisions, conversations. Yeah, maybe you're having a conversation with somebody who is intense here, or it needs to happen in order to leave something behind. Yeah, that's can always be there with Mercury in the eighth, in the 12th, in Scorpio, right? And so, yeah, and I feel like you are also Mercury and Mars are both trining Jupiter here, Sagittarius. I feel like you're leaving behind hope, like doubts and fears, because this 12th house is about doubts and fears, and you have Mercury there taking control of that, right? The 12th house is doubts and fears because you can't really see. It is the last house, right? Ruled by Pisces. It's in Scorpio. You can't see Scorpio either because it is of the occult, things that are hidden. Only the unconscious mind can like lift the veil or see these things, these truths. And I feel like you're leaving doubts and fears behind in your life. Yeah. Because we have it here trining Jupiter. Jupiter's in your eighth, and there's a lot of wisdom here. There's an ability for you to see things that might have been hidden from you in the past. The 12th house is also the unconscious patterns that everybody has, and they can't see them. No, I mean, life is about eventually seeing those because they can often be lies about ourselves, like, perceived lies where we think we are limited or something like that. And this is also about seeing your talents and seeing what's really important here with Mars uh, and Mercury, where you want to go, possibly, right? Here, Mars is about new beginnings and taking control. Be careful for arguments, Sagittarius, possibly when we have Mars and Mercury in Scorpio. Yeah, be careful for that. Maybe people challenging you, possibly when we have those in the 12th house. So, yeah, we also have a sextile for you with Mars and the South Node. Here's the South Node. The South Node is about the past, it's about where we need to move away from um, like what we need to learn from the South Node. It is opposite the North Node is where we are striving to go. And what does that mean? It means that we are striving to evolve every day, all of us. That is what your chart is trying to help you with. Yeah, the North Node is can be about our higher potential, our true potential, and also our fate and destiny, right? The North Node is the place of wisdom, where we want to get to, basically. And you have the trine here from your 12th house. So you understand by leaving something, I believe, with the sextile, by leaving something here that maybe is related to the father, the past, right? Here we have, the South Node. Um, yeah, maybe, this can also be you are no longer kind of overthinking things, possibly, or criticizing. It is in Virgo, but, when it's in Virgo too, this is like, um, we're wiser about kind of what helps us in our daily life. Yeah, we're wiser there. So you're leaving something behind. It could have been self-criticism as well. But definitely here, it could, like I said, it might be about the father. It could be about possibly how you see yourself in the world. The 10th house is also how others classify us. So you might be leaving something behind that has to do with that. That can really help you with your psychological health or your physical health because the South Node can be, related to your psychological health. Yeah, and so your emotional health that is connected to the past on some level, right? And here it is in Virgo, which can be about your physical health, right? And so you are doing something like that, Sagittarius. If you're able to see the sextiles, you have to be able to see them, right? We have to notice synchronicities or opportunities in our life. And sometimes if we are very busy, we're not going to see them. Or if we are, running around with our busy, two jobs, I got kids to take care of and just all this. It's hard really to see things in our life when we are so much in the physical or this mental, right, where we have so many things to do. Yeah. And so yeah, there's a sextile with Mars in the South Node. It's right here. The sextile is always the little star, right? You're leaving behind old wounds. Could be family wounds, Sagittarius. Could be with the South Node there. Old family issues that may have to do with your achievement. Maybe this can be also kind of Maybe your relationship with your father for some of you was 10th house, was possibly, um, it wasn't maybe the best or something, or you didn't get what you needed or something with your father, possibility, right? And, I mean, it sounds real personal, but hey, this happens to many of us. That's why the chart is here to bring us some wisdom and some understanding of what we were given at birth and how we can shapeshift and move to our into our best self. So this can be also about how other people see you. You might see an opportunity to kind of drop something that is hindering your long-term goals. That can be the case here with that south node there. And yeah, you might also be leaving old habits behind. Virgo is about habits. Yeah, it is about methods and, being of service, but it is about habits and uh, methods and how we do things and how we run our daily life too. Maybe you're getting really organized here. It's a possibility. Virgo is about being organized and meticulous and wanting things to run much better, right? That's Virgo. Virgo wants efficiency. Yeah. So, if you're looking to hire somebody in your work, especially, yeah, Virgo is seeing the small details, right? As Sagittarius sees the big picture. So there's a great combination there when we have Virgo and Sagittarius. Yeah. Or ninth house and sixth house. So yeah, Mercury is an exact conjunction, Mercury with Mars. It's at 21 degrees, giving you the knowledge and the clarity for what really works with you, Sagittarius, in the 12th house, what needs to go. Yeah, and because 12th house is about dissolution, dissolving, letting things go, sacrificing even. Um, and you might be seeing that now, as I was saying a little bit earlier. Yeah, you could be. And so, um, yeah, this is to trust your intuition with regards to career, possibly, relationships, and your true potential. There could be a fated move for you with the new moon with the new moon trining the fourth house. No, the new moon is in your 11th house of the future. And let's refresh it. So we have this new moon right here, um, and it is trining Jupiter. And I was saying, in Cancer, it can be about moving. Um, yeah, and that's in your fifth house, uh, Jupiter. So let's see here. And now we have, and so, we have as well, Sagittarius, I beg your pardon, we have Jupiter that is trining Neptune in your house of creativity. Yeah, there's a lot of courage here in your chart, Sagittarius. Yeah, with this Mars trining Jupiter over here. I feel like there is. And so now you have Jupiter trining Neptune. And where is Jupiter? Right here. So the trines are bringing in, making it easier for change. That's what it's doing. It could be removing obstacles, definitely, but it is allowing a flow. So we have a water trine here for you. It's in Cancer. Jupiter's here. And then we have Saturn is down here in Pisces, but in Neptune, it's actually in Aries. It is still a trine, and we can see that. Usually they're in the same element. Um, yeah, and so this is trining. Neptune is retrograde at the time of the new moon, as is Saturn. Yeah, and that is, yeah, exactly. So let's have a look at that, though. The Neptune nurturing Jupiter in your house of creativity, self-expression, love, and children. So, yeah, so Aries is that fifth house for you. Um, yeah, and let's look here. Yeah, Aries is your fifth house. This is very creative for you to help you expand as well because that's in the fifth. And then we see this in the eighth over here could help you, in many ways, but with money possibility, but it is definitely about your advancement, your potential and your growth. Excuse me, Neptune is bringing, especially it is also, conjunct Saturn right here. This is bringing a vision for your dreams, your creative expression, possibly. It can simply be about your own self-expression, right? Which is creativity. We're always creating something. Doesn't have to necessarily be art. I mean, it can be. It definitely can be. Your fifth house is also, it can be how you drive your life, your personal leadership, because it is, the sun is, the planet for the fifth house. But this is bringing, Saturn and Neptune is bringing visions to your dreams. It is bringing also, when we have Saturn is in your fourth house. Saturn in the fourth can bring kind of a realistic, a practicality to your dreams. Supporting your emotional stability. Yeah, because I feel like you have a lot of good stuff here. Yeah, you definitely do. This new moon for everybody, it definitely has a lot of benefits because we have Venus sitting in her own sign as well. Family can assist and support your expansion, your creativity. This is nurturing Jupiter, trining Neptune, nurturing self-love. Yeah, your own leadership of your life, your dreams and visions. As I mentioned, at a spiritual path can really support you right now. Yeah, definitely with this Jupiter trining Neptune. So that definitely could be helping you. And you could be going through a spiritual path because a lot of eighth house, fourth house, and the 12th house are here. And they can all be, spiritual. They definitely can. Excuse me, you guys. We have Neptune. I talked about the Neptune conjunction. For some of you, you may want to start a family when we see Saturn in the fourth, and that can be like this has been your long-term goal to possibly have a children for, people who are could be who are of childbearing age, or like if you really want one, could be because of the trine to Saturn, I mean to Cancer, and this is right to Jupiter in Cancer, which can be family, right? Um, yeah, or you might be like your family could be getting bigger. That can happen as well. Chiron is in Aries, Sagittarius, in your fifth house. So here's Chiron. Chiron's the wounded healer, right? It is the insecurity or the vulnerability or the sensitivity that we're all born with. Yeah, we're not perfect, none of us, right? Um, but Chiron, especially in Aries, this is about the self. So some of these insecurities are just perceived. They're not real. That can happen, right? It definitely can, especially with Chiron in Aries. This can talk about being insecure. For you, though, it's in your fifth house. So this can be about some type of maybe kind of insecurity that you are getting over. And, Jupiter's trying to push you to do that here with the square here. The square is causing tension to Chiron, right? And so, yeah, this is interesting because Chiron is here for a long time. Jupiter's not. Jupiter will be leaving Cancer next year on the 30th of June. But for now, we have this square here. And so we see Chiron in Aries in your fifth is asking you to heal something with regard to self-expression, your own self, like just be yourself, right? Create whatever you want, or just really kind of be yourself in your life. It can be about your creative pursuits. And this is asking you to heal something, reflect on it, and heal. That's what, Chiron is about. That's what spirituality is about. It is about reflecting. That's one of the, right? It's about reflecting in order to heal, like to heal in, your heart too. And, we can heal many things with our heart. Yeah, we can. With our intuition and with connecting to divine source energy, which is the soul, right? We have a lot of, healing, uh, a lot of natural healing going around. We definitely do spiritual healing as well, of course. This can lead you to make more money as well. You could be dropping something or kind of healing. Maybe you need to heal something that has to do with your parents. The fifth house is also the parents. Yeah, and so, and this can lead you to make more money and follow your higher potential because here is Jupiter, right? Um, which really can be your higher potential, uh, how you expand in your life, what you're really moving for, and what you really believe in as your higher purpose. And so, and also this Chiron Sagittarius, since it is, where is Chiron? It's in Aries. This can be about yourself. You could be healing things about yourself, your attitude about things, patterns, old wounds can be healed as long as you release anything that is connected to the past that no longer serves you. Yeah. And we have also in in Virgo was the South Node, and the South Node can be the past, it can be our parents, it can be the mother for sure, but it's just about the past, the South Node, mother, father, old, exes or things like that, but it is about past lives as well. So this is in your 10th house of the father. So this you could definitely, maybe you really have to release something, some type of old wound related to family, right? It helps big time. In fact, this is what we need to do, right? Carl Jung says if you don't, the famous spiritual, mystical. He was a mystic and he was a psychiatrist as well. He was a philosopher, so great, so over Freud yeah, so over Freud, so far advanced from Freud, right? But people are going by a lot of people just go by Freud, right? They can, and so for me, it's he definitely at his place. Don't want to discredit him, but not as advanced and intricate as Carl Jung, because Carl Jung was a mystic. But he says if you don't, heal your situation with your parents, especially yeah, your parents, um, especially your mother, you will definitely have a hard life. Yeah, we have to let go of these old things uh, that are holding us back, right? I mean, everything can be harder for you. All right. So by Chiron and Aries, and Jupiter is squaring that in your eighth house of, can be about family, though it's in, right? Or the past. Cancer is also about the past. Jupiter is there to, eighth house is the occult. So you're supposed to really kind of see something and let it go, right? Maybe something that has been kind of hidden here. And I feel like that's what you're doing in this relationship because uh, these transits are happening in these really mystical houses for you. Yeah. Um, yeah, and so, yeah, and these wounds, Sagittarius, possibly with this can be the 10th house too, is also the house of authority figures. So maybe, you just kind of looking at whoever has had any type of, kind of hold on you, or, you kind of thought that you're letting all that go. You're like, no, that's not important. I mean, those people or that happened or whatever that is either related to the past, um, maybe family or authority figures. Yeah, which, can be our parents, but it can be about other people in our life too. Even, people who are in, kind of corporate, right? The 10th house is also corporate, right? It could be like those people have no hold over me. It can be about that. All right. So good luck, Sagittarius, and I'll see you in the next one. And we're going to talk about Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising now. And the new moon is in your house of career, uh, social standing, and status and long-term goals. Let's look at this, Capricorn. Um, yeah, this is your 10th house. And so, uh, yeah. And so it sure is. And that is showing up for you. Um, Yeah, in your 10th house. I beg your pardon, you guys. I had a little distraction here, but this is your career. So it's also Capricorn. It also has to do with the father, the 10th house. Um, and it can be how others classify you. So, yeah. And so there is a trine here to Saturn. We'll look at that. Saturn is your ruling planet. Yeah, it is. So, and this career, this 10th house where the new moon is happening, you might be planting seeds. this can be about your social status, right? Or maybe you want to retire as well. That could be happening. That is the social status, could be getting married or things like that, especially in Libra, right? Um, yeah. This is also your in Libra could be about court cases, possibly here. This can be about how you relate to others, possibly in the corporate world or these long-term goals. There's something like that going on here for you. And also new relationships can bloom for you with the sun, with the new moon in Libra. They sure can. Your relationships can definitely bloom. There is an inconjunct to Saturn retrograde, right? In Pisces. Where is it? I think I removed that. I removed all the, yeah, I did remove the inconjuncts. I did because I wanted the wheel to look a little bit more like clear because we have so many aspects in the middle, right? Sometimes they're blocking each other kind of with the squares and the trines. But yeah, um, you might have challenge. There could be a challenge for you where you need to find balance between your relationships and your career, or how maybe how you relate to others and your career. Balance between maybe how you're relating to others, business partners, even um, and this uh, and this 10th house. Yeah. Maybe you need some type of balance between your own personal agency and maybe authority figures that can happen here. This can also be about your long-term goals, the 10th house. I think I mentioned that. Um, and maybe how other people classify you. And this can be a challenge between that and your spiritual, your values. They could be spiritual. They could be, even kind of, any type of values, right? Pisces wants you to nurture your business and your romantic relationships, Capricorn. Where is Pisces here? In your third house. Um, yeah, because it is conjunct. We have the North Node conjunct your ruling planet Saturn in your third house. This is your higher path here, your higher the third house with the North Node and Saturn. This is about something that's really very serious to you. It can be about your career once again because Saturn can be about that. But there's something about your life path here that you are, or your higher potential, or even, where you are trying to go here in your life, with your life. And there's something there, and that you are clear here, right? And now we have the moon is squaring Jupiter, and here is the moon. Yeah. All right. So we have the moon um in your 10th, and it is squaring Jupiter. Excuse me here. The moon is squaring Jupiter. We'll look at that here. Jupiter is in your seventh house of relationships. So yeah, that square is pushing you to see something about your relationships, Capricorn, or how you relate to others, possibly. That may be kind of hindering your own growth and your potential, right? Because we have Jupiter there. You could be learning some wisdom, possibly in a hard way. Uh, yeah, you might be doing that as it, maybe as this relates to possibly court cases, the seventh house, or some type of justice, or how you see balance and fairness in your life, maybe even peace, right? hmm if you're overdoing something as well, all right, so let's see. And the sun is also aspecting several planets for you. The sun is your sense of self showing up in your 10th house of career, of, being classified by others. Long-term goals can be the father, but here in this 10th house, your social standing, you might be seeing something here that is new for you with the new moon. Maybe just an idea. Sometimes this can be an idea with the new moon, right? In your 10th house. And so this is, the sun is aspecting these planets, but the sun is kind of asking you to be clear about social and personal needs, possibly. including your relationships, right? Jupiter's in the seventh, or how you share them, yeah, kind of, or how you show up in them. I beg your pardon, right? Let's go ahead and refresh this. Yeah, and so you could be traveling, Capricorn, also maybe teaching here, possibly with Jupiter. Um, you might be doing that here. Maybe you're planning a trip here, but um, I feel like now we have, if you're overdoing things, the sun is aspecting, yeah. Okay, so you might want things to be fair in a relationship or just how you approach them. You may really need that. Maybe you need peace or balance in relationships, and you're really seeing that right now. You could be seeing that, but be aware, Capricorn, not to give too much of yourself. Definitely, there is a square there creating tension. You could be selling yourself short in a situation. You could. Or maybe you feel a need to act on something as well with that square. Your values can be changing, Capricorn, for sure. You could feel a relationship is not growing. You might be feeling that, and there is a need to expand, possibly on your own. And you're right. That's a possibility here, because we have the sun and the moon is trining the MC. So the MC is in your seventh house, but this MC can talk about your career, can talk about the father, can talk about authority figures. But we have, so there is a flow and ease there. And I feel like that has to do with you either knowing something about relationships, or a relationship might not be growing, but you're seeing your value, and you see you can, like, your energy is like seeing that something needs to be kind of balanced or something like that. Yeah. And here is Venus too, which is really, Venus is squaring. Yeah. See, Venus is squaring the MC. So Venus is in your 10th house. This can be also about your money, but Venus is in your 10th house of career, authority, and ambition, long-term goals, uh, and how other people see you. Venus here, you could be pressured maybe to maybe make more money, or, challenge, or not challenge, but improve your finances. Venus is also about that, especially as it relates to the 10th house. It is in Libra here, so once again, it can be about relationships, for sure. hmm Yeah, I feel like this happens. This is all about the authority in your own life, right? Neptune is conjunct Saturn, Capricorn. Let's refresh here. And yeah, I might have been mentioning that earlier. This is a hidden conjunction because Saturn sits in Pisces, although we can see it right there. But Neptune is, this is the closeness here, and this is like a building. It can be, conjunctions are when these two planets get together and they do something. They support each other. They can kind of bring each other down, but it's usually an allied energy where they support one another, right? So we have the conjunction between Saturn and Neptune here. It happens, Saturn is in your third house of the mind here with the North Node. So this is the third house of decisions, conversations, mental understanding. It's how we process information, right? How we make these decisions, how we think. It's our way of thinking. The North Node is in there with Saturn, so maybe you've learned some type of lesson here, possibly. Saturn is also bringing lessons. It really is, but it's bringing structure to your ideas for sure, because here it is with this, with the North Node, which is where you're striving to go, right? So it's bringing structure to your dreams. And here we also, this is in your third, Neptune is in your fourth house, but Neptune is in the house of the self. So this can be definitely bringing visions, um, supporting your ideas and your visions, definitely bringing structure, but your creativity is there with Saturn. and Saturn and Neptune together. But there is something that you need to see here. Could be. Um, yeah, and Saturn is here, your planet helping, bring more reality and more structure to the situation. Neptune can cause uncertainty, Capricorn, so be careful with that. But it is in the fourth. I would say it's better than being in the third. Yeah. But this can bring Neptune is about making your dreams come true, right? It could be something you're really seeing about yourself that is affecting in the fourth house that is affecting your emotional like stability, which is good. I feel like it is. This is about a vision here. It definitely is. It can be about self-discipline, because here is Saturn and it is conjunct um, Neptune. Yeah. And Jupiter is trining both Saturn and Neptune, Capricorn. Where is Jupiter? It's right here. We have these water trines, right? Which are really good for, I mean, they're great for earth signs, I believe, because, because this is yin energy and they are, they're similar energies, but you have Jupiter, and that is trining both Saturn and Neptune, bringing wisdom and enthusiasm, expansion and goal expansion for you to your goals and your plans. Yeah, Saturn sits in your third house. This can be about your goals, and Saturn is goal oriented. It is for the long term. It is about our ambition and our authority, our career. But this is Saturn, Jupiter trining both of those. This can bring a lot of growth to you, and this could be maybe you are having conversations as well with the third, with the with that trine there. You could be uh, giving a seriousness kind of um, to these a seriousness and maybe commitment even to conversations, possibly with others. Yeah, because Jupiter sits in your seventh house of relationships. So and these trine here, um, the trine Capricorn will make things easier. There's a flow, right? Yeah, there's definitely a flow, right? And so sounds really good here. Yeah, and even these conversations or decisions, possibly they can have to do with business or personal relationships. Doesn't always have to be, right? Can be, work relationships, definitely. Mercury and is conjunct Mars, Capricorn. It's an exact conjunction in your 11th house of the future. So, yeah, it's in Scorpio here. So this is helping you to see what you need for the future. It definitely is. Um, yeah, be careful of arguments with maybe, with relationships. It's in Scorpio here. But you have the drive and the know-how right here. Yeah, because this sits in your 11th house of the future. You have the drive, the know-how, the understanding, the smarts, if you will, when I see, especially when we see Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio, you're seeing everything. You're seeing the practical, the physical. You're seeing the intuitive, the psychic, things that are hidden. You're seeing all that, and that is definitely helping you. Yeah, and so this could be about friends or social groups. I definitely can when you have Mercury and Mars. So be careful to, like arguments with them, possibly. Mars in Scorpio can be argumentative. It definitely can. But you're able to see what kind of, or analyze even, to look very deep about social groups or your future, your gains, possibly your hopes and wishes as well, because the 11th house is the house of hopes and wishes and gains. And these themes, we also have, when we look at the Mars trining Saturn as well, Capricorn, here is Mars and it is trining Saturn, your natal Saturn. So when we see this, it's in your house of processing information, the third house of goals, ideas, bringing a flow and alignment to these areas, to these themes. Also relationships. Um, it can be because we have Mercury and Mars in Scorpio. Yeah. This can be about relationships as well. Um, hmm Yeah, you're seeing what doesn't work for you, and you're learning from the past, Capricorn. I feel like you are. Um, and so this is going to be your 11th. Yeah, you're learning from the past, you guys, because we have this South Node in your ninth house of expansion, wisdom, personal growth, and you're leaving things behind here, and and we have the sextile too that is helping you do that. Yeah, definitely with Mars. Mars has the courage, giving you the drive to leave things that are of the past, Capricorn, that are only they could be hindering you here in your Jupiter. This is in the ninth house. It's ruled by Mercury, but Mercury wants you to see here. It have, Virgo. It's in Virgo wants you to see definitely and analyze. So you're doing that as this relates to your own expansion, your growth. Yeah. And you're leaving behind outdated beliefs to help you keep moving forward. Uranus, the planet of unexpected change. Let's look at Uranus in your chart. Um, where is Uranus? Yeah, Uranus is retrograde. It is, most of these planets are retrograde here, which can add a little bit more time to whatever you are trying to, right? It's spinning backwards. It can be a time for contemplation about things whenever we have these planets that are retrograde. So, this could be maybe a slow, especially with the new moon. The interesting thing about the new moon this time, it is about new seeds and planting in, the future, but it's now coming. I feel like the next few lunations or new moon will be coming. These new moon cycles will be coming at the end of the season. So we have this um, new moon in Libra at the end of Libra season, right? I feel like it's right before Scorpio is the sun will be in Scorpio. The sun's at 28 degrees on the day of the new moon, and I believe the next day it's going to move in to, at least here in the Western Hemisphere, check for your own time, but I feel like it's going to move into Scorpio the next day after the new moon. So really interesting there, which really means that we're given a little bit more time to gain wisdom about these relationships, about how we relate to others, about what is fair or doesn't always have to be fair, but what's balanced in our life, right? Fairness is important, but balance is kind of another thing. So, but for you, it's in your 10th house of career and social standing. So, there could be a lot going on with that, of course, as I was saying. So Mars is trining Saturn in your house of these goals, ideas, plans, things like that. This is your house of also communication and how you think. Um, this is in your third house. The third house also has to do with our siblings, excuse me, learning, our siblings, anything that is of the local community, the neighborhood. Yeah, it can even be about our cars sometimes, the third house. But Mars is trining Saturn. So for me, Mars is giving you the courage, the drive, and with Mercury next to it, you are knowing what exactly can move you forward here with that Saturn and North Node trine. Yeah. Mhm. And so now we have Uranus. We talked a little bit about Uranus, and it is right here. We kind of got a little bit, kind of went off here a little bit. But here we have Uranus showing up in your sixth house of daily life. So your lifestyle could be changing a lot, maybe over the next over the next maybe 7 years. Uranus is going to be there. It's going to move back into Taurus, though. It is. Uh, and it is at 0 degrees. I'm not sure the exact date it's moving back, but it is moving back into Taurus very soon. It's at the 0 degree. It'll move back to the 29th degree in Taurus. But for now, it is in your house of a daily lifestyle, a work and health and pets. So these are the themes of Capricorn that are really important to our life. We need good health, we need our work, and we need our pets, right? If we have one, but or if we want one. But Uranus is there shaking that up in that house Um, yeah, and very interesting that Mercury is ruling this house for you. This is, which is, this is also your third house over here. Well, this is the third house, but you do, excuse me, you have the south node over here. This is also ruled by your ninth house is ruled by Mercury. Um, yeah, and Uranus is in this house right now, in the sign rather, that is ruled by Mercury as well. So, um, yeah, and so now we see here the planet of unexpected change, independence, and innovation is in your house of daily routine. You might be thinking that you might be feeling that things need to change. As I, with my lifestyle, something like that. There, you might feel a little bit unstable here. You could, yeah, there's could be a little bit of instability there, whatever Uranus is sitting there. But it is allowing change, Capricorn, as I feel like it's going to benefit you. All right. So, yeah. And let's move on to Aquarius now. Aquarius, the new moon is in your ninth house. Let's look at that here because, um, yeah, the new moon is in your ninth house of faith, spirituality, higher realms. This is the house of long distance travel and other cultures. And you guys love other cultures. Yeah, usually Aquarius is really kind of big on that. But this is the house of expansion and growth and beliefs. It definitely is. This is also sometimes the house of good luck. It can be. But the new moon is in that house. Um, this is also the house of publishing. There's a good time to start a study or learn something, Aquarius, when we have the new moon there. Also teaching, maybe you are planning a trip or traveling. You might even want to go live abroad. That's a possibility. That's a big ninth house theme. And the moon, excuse me, you guys, is training the the MC. So let's look at the moon right here. The MC is in your sixth house. And this is the house of health, daily work, or daily, not daily work necessarily, just daily life, right? How your life functions on a day-to-day basis. It can be your lifestyle, your scheduling, anything that is really important or fundamental to you because it's also your house of health and work, right? And this is bringing in ease. We have this trine from the moon to the MC, and this is bringing you a flow, Aquarius, regarding your work, your lifestyle, daily obligations, and health. It's in Libra, could start a new relationship. There's an imbalance, though, between what you want in a relationship, Aquarius. There could be, right? Uh, this is, there could be, right? These are general readings. It's not based on your own natal chart, right? I feel like you guys probably know that. But there is an imbalance there between your beliefs, your values, um, and possibly your understanding here, and change and freedom. Like, yeah, there's some type of imbalance there where you feel like you need freedom or you need to do something better, possibly, or innovate something. Um, yeah, and your self-expression. You might feel like your self-expression is kind of being thwarted a little bit. Um, yeah. There's a need for clarity too, Aquarius. A need to be a little detached about something, perhaps in a relationship. But change is needed here and freedom, and something might feel unstable for you in your ninth house of God, the divine, and expansion. There's something could feel unstable for you, and you are looking for something, you want something new in your life, right? Um, yeah, let me close that. And let's go ahead and yeah, you could feel something in your life is working, but something's not working, and I need to let go of whatever may not be working. We also have the sun trining the MC. This is, the sun is about, it can be about your clarity, but it's about your core identity as well. Um, yeah, it can be about the public, or, your place kind of outside, but it is definitely a sense of yourself. Uh, Yeah, and so the sun is trining the MC. Let's look at that. And the MC is in your Aquarius 9, in your sixth house of daily work, daily lifestyle, right? Work and health as well. So, but with that trine there, this is about your long-term goals. You might have a lot of confidence here. You could be seeing what you need to do, or understanding, right, what you need to do that is regarding your ambitions, your work, your long-term goals, or personal authority in your life. That could be the case here. Um, yeah, and you could be, this can also be definitely um, getting along with, higher ups, definitely, bosses and figures of authority. Yeah, and with Jupiter in your also you could have new work here, definitely Aquarius, because Jupiter's in your sixth house of work. All right, you could be planting a seed for something that you really want here. And so this is highlighting natural talents as well. The sun trining the MC, highlighting your natural talents and your personal leadership that can really help you achieve, uh, Aquarius, a better lifestyle and support your emotional health at the same time. That sounds really good to me, right? And that wisdom, the wisdom gained in relationships or in how you relate to others possibly, can really help you now. Um, yeah, can really be meaningful, can help you expand in your journey, and this can support career achievement, family, your health, both physical and emotional. Mars and Mercury, Aquarius, are in your house of career and social status. This is your 10th house. Here you are, Aquarius, down here. And this is your 10th house of career. This is giving you a lot of courage in your 10th house. You could be seeing things here with Mercury, conjunct Mars in your 10th house. You might be, and it's in Scorpio. You might be really seeing things about relationships, about your father, about how you want to move forward, because there's definitely intelligence whenever we have Mercury in Scorpio. Yeah, definitely. It can be very intuitive as well. Um, yeah, and be careful though. This can also be, kind of be careful not to argue though with higher ups. Possibility here with this conjunction, people of authority, maybe even your father, right? Sometimes Mars and Mercury can mean words or arguments, right? It can be here, but definitely with the 10th house, you're seeing something here about your career, your personal authority, um, and maybe your social status as well. The 10th house is the house of social status, right? You just got your degree, you're retiring, you got a divorce, or you got married, things like that. That is the 10th house. All right. Mercury and Scorpio can allow you to see things possibly about your own, uh, maybe your own kind of, Mars is about your own, maybe about your own leadership in your life, your own personal agency, right? Which is the most important thing to us is our personal agency. It's never, it's not a relationship. It's not that person. It's not that job. It's about it's inward, right? Once we are able to really expand this kind of inner knowing about ourselves, then our true potential and things like that has nothing to do with others. We're just able to manage things better, relationships better, career, aspirations, all these things. We're able to manage them once we are uh, whole, basically, right? Yeah, once we reach the kind of wholeness and higher vibration and feeling good about yourself, right? That is always the most important. Um, but you could be seeing things about yourself, Aquarius, that were hidden from you, right? In Mars and Mercury in Scorpio, hidden things that were hidden from you that you just couldn't see yourself. You could be seeing lies, possibly, but you're seeing truths that looks like that could be, that can be maybe regard to control or your own power or your ability to create a new beginning for yourself. You're seeing something here, definitely Aquarius. It's really important. And Mars in your 10th house giving you the desire, the courage, and the drive for this personal leadership. As I was saying a little bit earlier. Yeah, and your natal Uranus, Aquarius, is sextiling Neptune. Let's look at that. This is usually kind of yeah, it's usually something that is more kind of generational or for the collective. But since this is, your Uranus is your planet, your ruling planet, there may be an opportunity for, like a higher self-expression here, for your creative pursuits when we see it here in Neptune. Um, yeah, and this is in your third house of ideas and, processing information, goals. Um, maybe you are seeing something about siblings or extended family that you could have a breakthrough right here. Uranus can be about breakthroughs. um but your Uranus sextiling in Aries, right? There's an opportunity for you, right? It's in Aries for you. That relates to your it can have to do with maybe with relationships as well. And yeah, you could be experiencing breakthroughs that are creative in the fifth. This is your fifth house. This is your, I beg your pardon. Uranus is in your fifth. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, it's in your fifth house of creative expression, lovers, the house of fun, the house of children and parents as well. But it is your house of self-expression, and Uranus wants you to be very authentic and really be who you are. I feel like there's an opportunity for change here, and you're seeing it. Yeah, I feel like you're most likely seeing it intuitively. Like, I just feel like there's an opportunity here, and it may be for change. Simply can be about your own personal leadership. All right, let's move on now to Pisces. And yeah, last but not least, Pisces, right? The new moon is in your eighth house of intimate relationships, money, inheritances, any type of joint finances, which can be, the sale of a house, 401k, a bonus, right? It can be about the money you make with a partner, or anybody really, this joint finances, right? Um, and so this can be about insurance policies, pensions, right? But this is the house of the occult. So all that was misunderstood or not seen, um, in your eighth house, yeah, big one, right? So this is not random that your eighth house over here is, um, yeah, this isn't random. I forgot the thought I was going to make right there, the point I was going to make here. But this is the eighth house of the occult. You're seeing whatever was misunderstood, Pisces, about relationships, about yourself, maybe, because this is the deepest, one of the deepest houses, the eighth house. It is the house of the psyche, the unconscious, all that is hidden. You might be seeing something so deep about yourself. Um, yeah, or you could be seeing things about people who have power or money. Your doubts and fears about relationships definitely are healing, or they can heal right now. They definitely can, if that's, important to you right now. And this also, uh, there can be a boss or a partner in the eighth house that maybe is hiding their true intentions. Yeah. That's really interesting here. Yeah. Because this can be about whoever you are sharing money with. Your boss can be something, it's possible, right? Your boss is writing your check. So whenever we talk about joint finances, we can even talk about your boss or the company that you work for, right? You might be seeing something about somebody. Maybe somebody's hiding their true intentions. That could be the case. Be careful for lies, yeah, with partners or higher ups, even maybe people you work with, right, that are maybe just a little over you or something like that. But Jupiter, your ancient planet Pisces, is being squared by the sun and the moon in your fifth house of lovers, self-expression, and creativity. So the sun is your core identity when it is squaring Jupiter here in your fifth house of creativity. Let's look at that here. Yeah, it is. In your house of relationships, creative pursuits, even. There's something here that you're being pushed to take action on, or to at least see it in a particular, like in the way, in the light that it really is, right? Mm-hmm. And you're trying to find balance with that. Maybe within a relationship that is supporting your self-expression. Maybe that's really important for you, where you need some type of a relationship that is supporting your self-expression, or a balance between them. We always need to have, our self-expression is always very important there. Hmm. Um, yeah, or this could also be about your core values, Pisces. Yeah, this could be about how you see yourself as well. There's tension between your emotions and finding, and maybe just others, right? Finding a balance, possibly with family members that may be triggered here, or people who are your tribe. There could be something that is misunderstood, or you're overlooking something regarding your visions, Pisces. Possibly how to take charge of something, maybe career or achieving something. And there can be uncertainty about finances or your values. Neptune here, Neptune is in your second house. It can bring confusion about your money or about your values. And it can also, Neptune can also uh, support your dreams possibly, and how you want to make money, things like that, or your creative aspects, your creative pursuits that are uh, kind of creative pursuits that are helping you move forward possibly. But be careful there with Neptune in the second house. Maybe you could be maybe a little bit not sure about something. It can be about your work as well, as I said, but Jupiter is supporting your creativity for sure, and your self-expression, as it is in your fifth house. Also supporting your relationships, and relationships with parents, mother or children, mother, father, children. Definitely Venus and Libra is at home here, Pisces. Where's Venus? Right here. Yes, it is at home in your eighth house. And so the eighth house is the house of money and inheritances. Yeah. And Venus is very good it's sitting in Libra. You might, maybe you are receiving an inheritance. As I was mentioning, the eighth house originally, because, it's talking about any kind of joint finances, 401ks, bonuses, things like that. And the eighth house is real estate as well. And so we have Venus here. Venus can be about money, ruled by Venus is about money. It's also about relationships, um, and self-care and things like that, the good things in life. And that's why it is connected to money, right? Connected to beauty as well. But here we have it there. Venus is at home there. This is also your house of power and all that is hidden. And Mars in Mercury is in your house of beliefs, expansion, growth, learning, and travel. This is, there's some type of, that some type of courage that you have here with regard to your growth and your forward movement and expansion. That's a really good thing. Jupiter also is your ancient ruling planet. I don't know if I mentioned that. It is up here in Cancer. I think I've been already kind of explained that. And now we have, Mars and Mercury is trining. Where's the trine? Yeah, right here. The water trine, trining Saturn, and both Saturn and the North Node. The North Node is where you're going. It is your higher aspirations, true potential, even what your soul wants for your path, right? For your life. And so here it is with Saturn. Saturn is retrograde. It is uh yeah, but Saturn here is they're in a conjunction here. Saturn is bringing you like a reality to your first house of self, right? You could be, your self-discipline can be better right now, Capricorn. I mean, Pisces, sorry. I was just saying that because that is Saturn, right? Um, yeah, but you're able to see things as well. Venus and Libra, you're able to understand things about relationships. We're talking about that over here. You're able to see things about relationships. And there's like a wisdom there as well. Yeah, there is with that. But this trine, sorry about flipping off here, right? This trine here, the water trine, also with Scorpio to Cancer here. This is really supporting you, Pisces. It really is. And there's a major maturity here when we see Saturn and the North Node, um, in your sign, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, um, yeah, and there's a flow and an ease with your understanding surrounding your beliefs and what you really want to grow, possibly about personal expansion, right? And as I mentioned, there is a maturity here in your first house, but this is giving structure to your dreams. It's giving a seriousness and a commitment to all that you want here, especially next to the North Node. hmm Um, and your visions and your growth for your life path, as I said. Um, but yeah, this is really good for you, Pisces. All right. I'm going to end this. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me here today. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's going to help me get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, which is, yeah, I would really appreciate that. Um, yeah, definitely. And hit the little bell if you would like to receive notifications of my videos. I'm going to start uploading a little bit more here. This is a new channel. I really appreciate you guys for watching. All right. Thanks so much.